Hello everyone and welcome back to 9 to 5 2, where we are almost ready to get another decider series underway for you. This time it is going to be CREYZI versus Tikitakan, trying to fight out and advance forward into those playoffs situations and try to claim victory. My name is Protalis, and talking you through this series with me is, of course, M&J. How are you doing?
I'm doing very, very good. I'm excited for this matchup just on the basis that Tikitakan are a very unknown entity. They're actually a very mixed roster. It's not just a mixed European roster. You've actually got a couple of players from sort of East Asia, and you've got a couple of Swedish guys, a Bulgarian. It's a really, really funky roster. There are a couple of key names in there. Flames, a really young talent that I've seen playing in the past. So maybe if those players can show up and get those frags in, maybe they can take down a team like CREYZI. I think that this is really their best opportunity to do so, considering CREYZI are in a bit of a slump at the moment. CREYZI really haven't been performing all too well in recent games. And I think that, yeah, this is really Tikitakan's chance to beat a team like CREYZI that otherwise they wouldn't necessarily be able to, but they've kind of gotten pushed into the corner right now. They're not feeling too comfortable. We saw them yesterday, didn't we? CREYZI. They weren't looking good at all. So we'll have to see what they can pull into this one.
In their 9 to 5 series yesterday against Level Up, which they played early in the morning, they did manage to win it 2-1, but that was incredibly close. I mean, I had them as in the second. They could potentially have been 2-0'd early on, and throughout all of the matches I saw yesterday, it looked as though it was the CT sides that were really struggling for as they head into today's veto. It is coming through for you now, ladies and gentlemen. Dust2 and Nuke, the first bans. CREYZI picking Train as the first match, with Mirage from Tikitakan as the second, and Inferno as the decider up third. I know for a fact that CREYZI CT side of Mirage is nothing to behold whatsoever, so Tikitakan might have the opportunity to win out there, but it's also comfortable territory from CREYZI. So if this side hasn't done their prep for the real absolute mix there, then the Ukrainians might have an opportunity to 2-0.
This is kind of a bizarre pick, because CREYZI have picked Train, which is actually one of the, in fact, it's their second weakest map. They have a 41% win rate on it across 17 maps. So they've had quite a lot of chance to actually like bulk that up. Sometimes you see these teams on HLTV where they'll have a high win rate, but it'll only be across a couple of matches. Mirage makes sense for Tikitakan. They have a 100% win rate on it across 3 matches, but it's also a very strong map for CREYZI, 65% across 20. So that's actually a very, very takeable map for CREYZI, of course. And then going into Inferno, completely unknown one. We really don't have a lot of data on this Tikitakan side. So even the 2 maps, which is Dust2 and Mirage, that we have seen them play and we have got some stats for, it's really not across many maps. And the rest of the map pool, we've got no data on them whatsoever. They've actually never played Inferno before on HLTV. So really, really unknown. Maybe they know it, maybe they don't. It's going to be a fun series.
It certainly should be in this best of 3, and something I'd say for CREYZI as the narrow favourites heading into this one is they have to start strong here on Mirage, especially if they begin on that T side. They need a minimum, for my money, of 10 rounds on that T side, because really their CT side, honestly, when I saw it against Level Up, they could get nothing done at all. They were just gamble stacking the wrong site every round. They could never get a read going, and it was just the all-out nightmare when all was said and done. And that was after they came into that second half with something like a 13-2 lead or a 12-3 lead that they earned on their T side. They just crumbled away on the defensive side of the map. And well, CREYZI, we saw also yesterday in their Malta Vibes series that they were struggling a little bit on the defensive side of maps like Vertigo, where you're theoretically supposed to be comfortable. Now, that all communicates to me that they really do struggle on the defensive side of the most of maps in the pool at the moment, and that is going to be a really difficult factor to overcome against a side where you can do no research against their T side. You have no idea what they're going to bring forward. And as the knife goes ready forward into Train, as our first map, we will have to see whether or not CREYZI can put up a strong CT performance here on Train.
Well, yesterday, Crazy didn't have the best of days. Of course, they were against Nordavind in that best of 3, which is a pretty difficult matchup, but they just got come away from that yesterday. They won't have to practice those maps. We're not seeing any of those maps that came into play yesterday in this map pool, but they're going to have to sit down, talk about what went wrong, and actually come into today mentally reset and raring to go here. Wow, this pistol round. Mexican standoff right now. But knife round even, sorry, yeah.
I mean, I was about to say I can't believe that this is how they've chosen to play it, but obviously Spinks has done it because he's won the round in a 1v2. Like, fair enough. He's gotten it done at the end. 4 kills in the knife round for Spinks, and I imagine that's going to cause Tikitakan to start on the CT side of the map. They have swapped over to the defensive side of things, and Crazy then, the silver lining here is that they're going to have their stronger T side as the opener here on Train.
It's really crazy to see that Tikitakan, a team that are really, really unknown, we have very, very little data on them, are actually the favourites coming into this series. I cannot believe it. Looking at these numbers right now, it seems absolutely crazy, but it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. Crazy are not at their best right now. They need to get out of this slump, and, well, let's see if today's the day. It's elimination time. They have to pull it out the bag. And as we go into pistol round, let's see who can take this crazy map pick of Train.
Your statistical head-to-head for this matchup, then, it is Sensei, the star player of Crazy, on that AWP up against Iban, the man from Tikitakan, to try and stand up against him. There is obviously no information available on Tikitakan according to HLTV official statistics here, so Crazy, despite the advantage you mentioned, their opponents are the favourite, and that's because Tikitakan have 2-0'd Gamer Legion, Illumina, and alternate attacks in series. They've only dropped to Arvez and Gambit Youngsters, who are 2 of the stronger sides in these tournaments. And Sensei's fallen very early on to Flames. This has started off the right way at the moment.
Very nice shot from Flames to open things up, and as he's still alive, he can continue to cause problems for Crazy. He's done his bit, got himself a 2-piece. Spinks is now able to come in, and the rotations are already here. The bomb yet to go down. Just goes down now, but Demq work on his hands to clutch up this 1v4. Obviously gets himself the first, but so many players, they're all charging in. There's surely no chance of him doing this. He's playing Ring of Roses, but can't get any more than the 2 he found. Sphinx, the one to finish it off, and the bomb gets defused for Tikitakan. They come out on top in this first round of Train. And Crazy now, it's looking like they are going to go for the force buy off the back of that bomb plant.
Beautiful opening shot there from Flames, just tapping away with that USP and finding the headshots before he fell in the B bomb site. That's good news for Tikitakan as the unknown quantity, and we really just don't know what to expect from them. We can't emphasize that enough at the moment. It looks as though Crazy are more comfortable on the T side of Train, but they've been taking losses on this map recently. As you mentioned at the start, at least they've opened up with the first kill in this round. Sergey's onto Red Star as the Deagles look to try and find damage in this force. It's Spinks to reply for the moment, though, and that smoke just giving Crazy space to maneuver.
Well, Crazy seems to have bounced back and kept this one competitive. A 2 versus 1 now for Flames to try and clutch up. He spotted out Psycho, the low HP player. He knows he's got the bomb out in the open as well. So a pretty nice position for him to be in, especially if he can convert this first. He's done exactly that, but he's now against Demq. He's full HP, he's got an M4, he's got a helmet and Kevlar to work with. And the only chance of Flames clutching this one up is if he gets the timing, and he does so exactly. I have no idea how Demq doesn't win that Angel, but somehow Flames comes out on top, puts himself 4-1 early on. And Tikitakan against all odds, take that second round.
Flames, the heroic clutch there, takes half HP from that Deagle, but still survives against the M4 in the late situation. And Tikitakan lucky to come off the victors of that round, despite how the opening stages went. Only one bullet there landed by DemQ, and the fire rate of the MP9 just close enough range to capitalize, as now there are 3 of the SMGs on the board for the mixed side, as they look to farm the bonus cash against these ecoed pistols and buff up their own bank before that crazy full buy gets on the board.
Yeah, nice little bonus round here for Tikitakan. It's not really a bonus round because they've actually invested in these MP9. Yeah, nice little bonus round here for Tikitakan. It's not really a bonus round because they've actually invested in these MP9s. They weren't really able to save them in the last, but does mean they can rake up some cash against these pistols. All 5 players for Crazy, looking like they're stacking up over towards B. Sensei is quite far behind. He's actually headed maybe towards Pop Dog, try and catch off some rotation. So it's only going to be a 4-man push onto this B site for now. They stack up. Start to walk out heaven here. It's going to be the first man to jump. The bullet spraying in. Flames with the MP9 does some work. Only good for 1 though. Aiden finds one of his own, but as he gets dinked, ooh, this is actually looking a lot closer than it really should be right now. They're dealing damage, but Crazy can't convert these kills. And it's an absolute shutdown for Tikitakan. Surge's last alive, 3 versus 1, just with the Deagle in hand. I don't fancy his chances here.
He's trying to hit the first headshot, and Red Star doesn't have a kit, so there's still time for him to win, but Spinks is going to put the hard denial on that one. And it's a costly round for Tikitakan, but because they invested 3 MP9s, those 3 players would have had the moral dilemma of whether or not to buy up rifles in this round anyway. This time, they can just be dropped forward by the 2 survivors and then reinvest on their own, as that full defensive buy can come through against Crazy, who will be utilizing full utility and full rifles. This is their map pick, and after a shocking day for them yesterday, they would really like to have a comfortable victory at the start of today.
Well, again, 3-0 down. Certainly not the start you want for the Sensei. A very, very nice shot from him. Gives them that man advantage. Not able to gain any control off of it, though. As soon as he falls, the deep smoke just comes in from DJ, and they actually just retain that Ivy control. He's actually got second smoke as well to go down there, so they're really running down the clock here. Crazy haven't really got a whole lot of room to work with. Key player here is that player in Pop Dog right now. It's Toxic. I think he's just been spotted by Red Star though, so no longer the element of surprise in his favor. Red Star getting ever so close, so the timing's working out perfectly for him as he avoids the flash, finds the first as well. This is big stuff from Tikitakan. They're so close and they can just shut this one down. Well, Crazy do manage to come out on top in that scenario, put their first round on the board, and actually, despite the fact that Tikitakan have gone 3-0 up, they now have no money in the bank to work with, so this is going to have to be a full eco for this CT site. In fact, no, it's not going to be a full eco. What on earth? Sphinx has gone glass cannon.
That's crazy news. They've gone for the full investment. Tikitakan Flames was left in that 1-on-2. He won 1 clutch today, but wasn't able to convert the second. And this time, Sensei's put DJ down early. DemQ's decided to knife his teammate, or rather, he's received a knife from another one over in T-Connors. Team damage is dealt, but more damage is dealt onto the opponents. Flames the second to fall, as actually Spinks' AWP will find Sergis first. That's told Tikitakan that there might be more investment. Red Star has recovered a scout as well. However, 4 rifles still represent a significant threat as this Crazy side look to march into the B-bomb site.
4 versus 3 now for Tikitakan. They've still got this AWP in play. Sphinx needs to hit this opening shot to level out the numbers and make this retake possible. As the smoke goes up, he's going to have to be firing blind here. Can't find any sight lines for now as Crazy actually pushed their way up this B-bomb site. Sensei's found the jewel. And it's a 4-on-2 now as they've gained full control of this site. Red Star really the spanner in the works here, but he should get traded momentarily. That's exactly what happens. Demq takes him out, and Aben last alive with this Deagle. Ooh, very nice shot for him to hit. Might go and try and grab himself a rifle, but he knows there's no chance of him clutching up this round.
And Demq guarantees it in Crazy's favor. 3-2 as they hunt down 3-3. Tikitakan cannot win out that force buy, so they are going to take the hard eco and look for the buy up into the next. Crazy able to tie the scoreline and really need to continue that momentum on this T side. That is the critical factor. If they can just perform, put up double digits in this first half, they'll obviously be in a very comfortable position. And as we await Tikitakan to bring out the next full buy, this is where we're really going to see, perhaps after in the round following this, what Tikitakan have to offer. Sensei's opening up with an AWP in this one, and the pistols look like they're just going to get cleaned up by the rifles. Crazy making it a 3-3 on easy terms, but Psycho, has he just desynced again? No, he's back. We saw a few tech issues from him last night. Hopefully he doesn't drop out too much in this matchup.
Yeah, it would be good. It's horrible to see when a team are down and there's someone having tech issues, and sometimes you wonder if that's the reason why. Audacious to see that actually Sensei, the one that peeks out first in a main there, against what they know is going to be a full eco. To have the AWP going for that early pick, it's actually pretty dangerous. If he doesn't hit those shots, he gets overwhelmed there. Taking a huge amount of control early on though. Crazy, they're against a buy round here. There's no AWP available on Tikitakan. Limited utility as well for them. Crazy have taken huge amounts of control as Psycho finds that first frag. DJ should be able to find one back though. That's exactly what he does. Can't convert the second though as Surges goes huge. It's a 4-on-2 now and it's Sphinx and Flames to try and hold this one up. It's not going to happen. Surges finds himself the third of the round and Crazy pull ahead.
And this is what I was worrying about a little bit from the Tikitakan side. Even when they won that pistol, it was a hard-fought pistol round to win. It came down to what felt like 1-on-1, 2-on-2 situations. But then even that second round, it was all on that Flames clutch at the end with the MP9. And then when the full guns came out, they just weren't able to convert. And this timeout gives us the opportunity to talk about esports millions. If you check out the Esports Bible's pinned tweet, you have an opportunity to win a Main Gear Gaming PC. All you need to do is retweet and participate in Esports Millions. Round 2 is now live, and this time Unicorn are offering everyone who participates the chance to win a Main Gear Vibe Stage 3 gaming PC, and the top 50 answers will also share $5,000 of Unicorn bets. This is all just a lead up to the €1 million giveaway during Cups 3 and 4. Anyone who answers all 10 questions correctly will win that life-changing grand prize. All you have to do is go over to ukrn.io/esports millions and you can participate in the competition. It looks like the root of this current technical pause is Psycho. It looks like his keyboard is lagging at the moment, so we're just awaiting Crazy to resolve that technical issue before this game gets underway. But it bodes very well for the Ukrainian side that they've won both of the first 4 gun rounds.
Very, very sad to see that a talent like this is being held back by equipment. Just looking at the last matches played from these guys though, okay, so we saw Crazy's performance yesterday, especially at Multivibes, really wasn't too strong. Now, Tikitakan's last couple of best of 3s haven't gone their way either. They actually didn't take a single map. It was against Aves and Gambit Youngsters. Now, they're both very strong sides, and that's somewhat expected. But then when you go a little bit further down the list to about a week ago, Tikitakan, right, this unknown entity, this team that have played hardly any maps on HLTV, they're a brand new, somewhat of a mixed roster from all over Europe. They took alternate attacks, 1-2-0. They then beat Illuminar 2-0 and beat Gamer Legion 2-0, all back-to-back, which is just insane that a team like this can upset big household names like that. Let's see if they can do it to Crazy as well. Very early stages in this game. Crazy have managed to pull ahead, but Tikitakan keeping this one competitive.
Back in the advanced playoffs as well, they were able to defeat sides like the Lingby Vikings and Windstrike Tikitakan. So definitely to keep an eye on this side as a team to watch, considering really just how odd these parts seem to be, fitting together from all different nationalities. They're able to perform somewhat and get things done at least early. The potential is definitely there for this roster, but in this round, the potential is here for Crazy to extend their lead, as despite getting the first kill, the next three have gone the way of the Ukrainians, and now Tikitakan may not be able to hold on to this A-bomb site as soon as the bomb arrives.
The Eagles need to do the work, and DJ finds himself a nice kill. His teammate does fall around in those positions now known, but he's found himself another. Even if he can't clutch this one up, he's doing huge damage right now, and these are all weapons that Crazy can't really afford to be reinvesting. He does manage to find himself a couple. In fact, looking at this money now, my eyes aren't too good nowadays. They have plenty of money. They can fully invest back into this. They've actually got players sitting on 10k, so it doesn't really matter all too much, but to find 3 kills is still pretty big in that scenario, and now they can pull out the big guns and try and do it all over again, but this time they've actually got the firepower to make it happen.
On the A-bomb site is where the heavy commitment lies from the CT side. It's Aben's Orb alone towards the back of B, looking for an early kill. That Molotov forces him off the early angle, though. Now Toxic wants to push up to punish, and Ivan needs to be aware of this. He's not able to find the shot, and that leaves the B bomb site open. This is the issue. When you gamble 4 in A and play 1 on B, normally you leave that B player deep towards back connector, or have him deep watching the passive heaven position. That way he can stay alive for your rotators to arrive, but now they have to push flames in. It's the only point of contact, and he can't even find Toxic. Double entry for the Ukrainian rifler, as Tikitakan, they already should be saving these M4s.
They've dealt a fair amount of damage. They know that that's not enough. The 2-man deficit, the B site to retake. They're not going to go for this one at all. They're falling right back to Ivy. For now, Crazy are actually just allowing them to save. The issue is if they get over-aggressive here and they spot surges, whilst they should be able to take him out just by playing the numbers, if he gets 1, maybe 2 kills, then the whole purpose of the save is completely out the window. By saving these rifles, it means that actually you'll be able to drop over to Flames and Aben. You've got that lost bonus behind you to do that, and you can actually pull out another full fire next. But as soon as you start losing too many men, that isn't viable anymore. In fact, as soon as you lose 1 man, there's then a guy without a weapon. If you lose 2 men, there's 2 men without a weapon, and it just doesn't work out for you at all. So they managed to save all 3 rifles. That means they're going to drop those M4s over to Aben and Flames, and they can pull out another full buy in this one. Utility, not fantastic, but it's not all too bad. No AWP available, of course, but these rifles could certainly get the work done in the hands of the right players.
They'll be desperate to get the work done as well. It's DJ, close range on Ivy. Uses the smoke to keep himself alive and just avoid the early entries. This is more of the standard setup that I was talking about. Now that the Tikitakan don't have an AWP, they use Flames solo on that B site in an angle where he can strafe out for kills, but he can also retreat and hide behind those train cars and allow for another B player to come in and rotate through the connector. I have no issue with playing the B bomb site with only 1 player defending early. I just have the problem when they were using that AWP so aggressively towards back B. I know Aben only wanted to find an opening kill probably and fall back away towards the site, but unfortunately playing from that aggressive angle is what allowed Crazy to win that round. And as soon as the Molotov was at his feet, he should have backed off and awaited, you know, just the Crazy incoming attack at a better angle that he's ready to deal with.
Absolutely is right now, Sphinx. Oh, that was a nice camera path. That was funky. I actually thought for a second someone was coming down the ladder there, but that was just smooth from our observer. Molotov comes in. That is actually going to force the T's right back. MQ coming out here with that AK. Does get spotted out, but Sphinx is really in no man's land here. He has to take the fights, and he doesn't come out on top. Red Star needs to go huge here as he sandwiched him from both angles. They have a 2-man deficit, but only 10 seconds on the clock. They can deny this plant, and if they do so, Crazy can't take this round, but they need to find the kills, and they're unable to do so. That was such a ridiculous round. Crazy left it far too late, and all Tikitakan had to do was convert a couple of those frags and delay that bomb plant further. But Crazy came out on top with every single fight they took, end up taking the round, and now sits 7-3 as we go into round number 11.
7 rounds in a row on the T side as well, and they were a much better start, or a much better side even, at the start of this map than they were the entire day yesterday. Somebody within that organization clearly has lit a fire under these Ukrainian players and told them to turn those performances around, and right now they may just have done so, at least on the opening half of Train. Their T side is going very well, but remember what I said in the pre-game, it was their CT side that really disappointed me yesterday, so they might still need to build a strong round advantage in order to be successful, but at the moment, that's exactly what they're doing.
Toxic showing no signs of slowing down right now. They're just landing these headshots over and over again. Bear in mind, this is a buy round for Tikitakan. This isn't like this was some full eco or something. A couple of players, of course, were down to the pistols, but they had a few rifles to work with here, and they've just been completely shut down.
I mean,
Really
just this stuff in Pop Dog from Toxic. They just run into him one at a time. All he has to do is stand there and left click. And that's how the kills go in Crazy's favor. A bit over-aggressive, and perhaps you're starting to see the difference in levels here, as Tikitakan aside maybe were streaking with their puggy playstyle up against Crazy, who seemingly utilized a similar playstyle but just at a higher level. You're really starting to see the CTs fall apart, but that's a crucially missed shot by Sensei. He could have opened that round up completely, but instead all of the opening kills have gone the way of their opponent. Zerg is trying to reply, nearly with 2 as well, but that AWP whiff might have been enough for Crazy now to need to leave this round alone.
2 players left alive as they head over towards this B-bomb site. Toxic needed to land that one tap, and as he's tapping away, he still can't find it. The longer he stays alive there, the longer the rotations can come in, and now there's 3 players eagerly waiting to deny this B-bomb plant. DemQ knows that his options are limited. He can't now head over towards B. Instead, oh, does he go for the save here? It's not really worth it. They've got plenty of money. He's going to go down Pop Dog. Just try and do some economical damage. And in my mind, that's really the best thing he can do right here. But, I mean, Tikitakan are playing this perfectly, not giving him anything to work with. They know that their money's low. They know that they need to hold on to these rifles. I think he's just spotted the foot there, so gives him a bit of info to work with. The issue is there's no utility or anything like that. As soon as he goes for this bomb plant, he surely gets taken out here.
Yeah, in the back, it's Red Star who finds that kill and secures the round for Tikitakan. They put the end of the road to that 8-round streak from Crazy now, but they still, of course, on the T side have so much money left to work with in the half. They might even have enough to buy up until the very end. As you can see, DemQ's already invested, and he still has 11,000 in that bank. Crazy are in a great spot at the moment on Train. If they can convert the remainder of the rounds in the half, it'll be better, but Tikitakan can still come back into things.
Tikitakan are effectively playing overtime at this point. They have to win against the full guns every single round to try and have an 8-7 half here. Some nice early damage onto Flames as well, and as Aiden can't connect that shot, things aren't being made easy for Tikitakan. They really needed to find some kind of opener there off the back of that B aggression, and instead they just took a whole load of damage and then have fallen right off of B. So Crazy, they should just be able to take B control with ease here, and I'm not even sure what Tikitakan's plan is. They've fallen right back. It's looking like they, of course, are going to go for the retake. It's a buy round, it's a 5v5, why wouldn't they? But they've basically given it up completely. They've allowed Crazy to get these post plants, and they can be so dangerous on this B side. Flames pushes right up, the spray transfer connects. It needs to be traded, and Toxic's able to do exactly that. A 3-on-3 now. But the pincer from behind, his Surges comes up. This could be dangerous.
They're sticking the defuse. Spinks is just holding it. Crazy had no idea that was the strategy. Oh dear, I was surprised myself as Aben gets the last kill of the round. Crazy, they're made to look a little bit like fools at the end there as they don't peek out at all against that stuck defuse and end up losing the round. A slight mistake from the Ukrainian side will allow Tikitakan another round of this CT half, and if they can build up a streak towards the end, there is potential for them to start building up that momentum as we head over to the T side.
That was a bizarre one from Crazy. In a sort of 1 versus 1 situation, you might stick it there and you might not peek out because, of course, if you peek out and you get killed, then there's nothing you can do. But when you've got 3 players alive like that, to just invest 1 player to peek out, make sure that they're not sticking it. You've still got 2 guys left to work with. You've still got the pincer in from behind. That was a really an unneeded round for them to give up there. And they take the disadvantage in this one early on. Dija's got himself well up close in A main. MQ all alone with the bomb. If he falls here, this could really be dire for Crazy. Tikitakan, Dija's got himself well up close in A main. MQ all alone with the bomb. If he falls here, this could really be dire for Crazy. Tikitakan just playing this one slow. Using that Molotov, making sure he's clearing out those angles. They've got a good advantage in this round and they don't want to let go of it.
Dija, he's made steps. That's going to give info to Dempsey that there's someone aggressive, but he's not able to convert that into the kill. And Dija now has bomb control in his favor. Sergey's coming straight out of Ivy, though, is able to find an important kill, but DJ can now back off into Tikon and just sit on that bomb for as long as he wants to. Aben's found Sergiz now as well. This gets very dangerous for Psycho and Toxic as they have to push into Tikon whilst worrying about being flanked from the A bomb site.
Able to convert the last onto Toxic as well. A fantastic flick to confirm his. Or how he knew, but he knew that there was someone close. He held the angle for a. So then he took a couple of steps, faking that he fell back, and then spun back around. And Dija peeked a little bit wider than he normally would to try and confirm that kill on the player running away, thinking it was just a free kill. He'd just be able to spam the guy in the back, and instead gets. Walks straight into his opponent's crosshair and basically sets him up to win the round. Tikitakan right now sitting on 6, and in this final round, looking.
When you consider it was an 8-3 lead from Crazy at the beginning, that would be a great prospect, but it looks as though they might at least finish with a 3-round lead here as they have no mercy in their attack of the A bomb site, decimating the Tikitakan defense. And Flames is set up in the corner for the pre-fire, finds the first kill. That's beautiful work, but that flashbang has just disappeared. Goes away and doesn't blind anybody. Sensei puts him. But there are 2 key questions that I want to have answered in this second half. First is, how strong is Crazy CT side going to be? Because it wasn't looking great yesterday. And the second is, what do Tikitakan have on show for their T side, because their CT side was full of unorthodox positioning. So I'm really excited to.
They brought some utility going into this pistol round. It's Flames to hold it. It's looking like they are going to try and get down Pop Dog early on. Some aggression over towards A and B, keeping their opponents guessing. They've actually shown the bomb on B as well, which you'd think would draw a rotation. Okay, it does draw the late rotation. 3 men for them to now find on this A site as they start to set up. The smokes and flashes go over. It's Demq now. Needs to land these shots. Sensei on the site, tapping away. Can't connect anything for now. They're whipping all of these shots. They need to find the kills. They find themselves a couple. But in the meantime, they drop like as he's been dinked up. There's no chance for him to come into the... They can't take the pistol round. They can't put themselves onto double digits. And Tikitakan now close the gap. 2 away from leveling this one up. And, well, as Crazy force into this one, if Tikitakan can convert this round, which they really should be able to, especially with 3 AKs to work with, we'll be looking at a 9-9 scoreline before Crazy can buy up again.
The last time Crazy brought the force forward as well, they brought it down into a 2-on-1 in their favor, but it was that beautiful Flames clutch that kept hold of things for his team. So with the upgraded pistols this time, they're looking to deal more damage. Psycho eats a whole HE straight to the face. And Toxic, he might not even get away. He takes 81 damage before fleeing into the B site. But Crazy so far haven't had much to say about the start of the round.
Damage, Tikitakan. They're all stacked up over towards B. Crazy really need to respond with some kind of aggression or something here. They've taken a lot of damage early on. Their positions are now sort of somewhat known. They either need to go for some kind of gamble stack or they need to aggress over on A and have some kind of flank coming in from the back lines for this retake. But now that's looking like that's what they might do. This Eagle on Toxic needs to go huge here. He actually finds himself 2 before he's traded. The man advantage now in Crazy's favor. Considering he was low HP as well, that's absolutely massive. If Surges can deny this plant, which he does that perfectly. Oh my goodness, Crazy. What is going on? Sphinx now in a 1 versus 4. This has all happened too fast. I have no idea what's going on.
Very nasty play from the Ukrainians in this B bomb site, and it's punished Tikitakan severely. They really needed these follow-up rounds to try and tie up the scoreline, and now Sphinx alone has a chance, but after receiving that tag, it might have just all dissipated. 10-7 lead now for Crazy. They get that 3-round advantage in their favor once again. And that is the real sickener to lose. They all just try and come out from the same angle. Toxic's able to spam them down. And Sergiz as well catches the planter off guard. Flames is looking the wrong way. And nobody anticipates the positioning there. Unfortunate for Tikitakan to lose out, but they have a force of their own in tow. However, the Crazy buy is so much stronger and is on the CT side that I'll be very surprised if Tikitakan can make moves here.
Well, that you can retrieve a couple of those AKs that were dropped in the last means that you can have a full rifle setup. Absolutely perfect. The limited utility might come into play here, but didn't matter all too much as Tikitakan are really in the same boat right now. Only a single flash and a smoke to work with to try and close this gap before Crazy extend it further. If Crazy win this round, of course, they should be able to take it 12-7. That would be a really strong scoreline. A very good opportunity for them to close this one out. They need to convert this round first.
Enders out into the open where multiple pistols can fire at them at once. Crazy just looking to distribute as much damage as they possibly can. Sensei with a big double up falls down as Psycho atop the ladder now. Finishes it off with that AK-47. 11-7 lead for Crazy as Tikitakan have to look into the now. That means it'll be a 12-7 scoreline before Tikitakan can get their first. Be 13-7 down then and facing an eco. It's a really rough start, and Crazy have done a great job at dominating this early CT economy game.
They really have. Tikitakan now just forced down to these pistols, and Sensei with this MP9 as well, getting really aggressive. Wants to try and find himself a couple of kills. If he can do so, gets loads of money racked up as he takes down Sphinx and Flames. The 2 Israelis now off the server. Only 3 left to work with, and these pistols There's really not a whole lot they can do. Can't even get close enough to take these fights. Alone close enough to get the bomb down, and Psycho just tapping away finds one more. This is just easy pickings right now for Crazy, and with that 5-round lead, the economy buffer as well, they're actually in a very, very good position to close this one out. And if they can take this map, it'd be no surprise, of course, like it is their map pick. But as we go into Mirage, that's going to be the exciting one, because Tikitakan across 3 maps. But Crazy have also shown that they're very, very strong on Mirage, and that's across 20 maps. So it actually should be a really strong game of Counter-Strike with 2 teams that are very, very confident on the map. We have to get there first, though. Crazy, 5 ahead, looking to extend it to 6. If they can convert this buy round, they'll be in a very good position to close this out.
Crazy, when they played Mirage against Level Up yesterday, 13-2 on their T side. And then were unable to convert a single follow-up round on their CT side until the very last round of regulation time, where they took the map into overtime. I have no defensive side of things. They're just so weak and really leaves the door open. For me, Crazy need to win this map of Train, because I was just so disappointed by their play on Mirage yesterday morning. That CT side, I mean, there's having a weak CT side and there's only winning 2 rounds or winning 1 more round after you have a 14-2 lead. Really the nightmarish scenario to be in there. And Tikitakan, they've got aggressive map control on the A side, but they've only got a smoke and 2 flashes remaining. CT side, however, have still got 2 Molotovs they can use to try and delay plants or force people out of post-plant positions.
That really comes into play late game right now, because there's only 20 seconds on the clock, and with Psycho winning that gunfight, they've still got a spanner in the works, and the man in heaven that they're all trying to deal with. 12 seconds now on the clock, they have to go for this plant. The Molotov comes through, but it doesn't quite land, and the bomb is going to go down in time. It does eventually take out Aben, and they do clean things up. Very, very well played from Crazy in that scenario. In an ideal world, they don't allow that bomb plant to go down, but they pick up the pieces nonetheless. Tikitakan now in a situation where they have a decision to make. They're all sitting around sort of 3.8k, 4k. They could potentially buy into this one, but they'd have very limited utility. And I think it's definitely worth just going for the pistols in this, go for the full buy in the next. Issue is they don't have a lot of rounds to play with, so as the timeout comes through, that's probably what they're discussing.
And this timeout gives us an opportunity to talk about Unicorn, the platform with the most CSGO betting options in the world. If you join Unicorn today, you could get 80 euros of bets from a 20 euro deposit. Bet on yourself in CSGO pubs, on pro teams, or get fresh esports matches 24/7, even when events are offline. Unicorn won Esports Bookmaker of the Year in 2019, and you can find out why today with your 300% first deposit bonus using code RELOG, RELOG. Tikitakan have the hero AK buy here in the hands of Abe, and the rest of the side sticking on those pistols and looking for an explosive Ivy entrance to try and force entries.
Well, as they come in here, they're able to find one. They get themselves into the back lines. That nade coming in a little bit late, but actually does the work. They sandwich them in. Perfect pincer coming behind from Toxic. It's Aben last alive. Does get himself one, but closed in from all angles. Crazy able to do the work that was needed. Put themselves onto 14. Tikitakan now. Well, they've got the money to drop Aben a rifle over. They can pull out a full buy into this one. In fact, they've dropped him an AWP. No utility for him to work with, but actually a very strong buy nonetheless. We're seeing very similar from the Crazy side. This is do or die time for Tikitakan. They have to win this round, and if they don't, it should go 16-7 to Crazy.
You have to expect that the buy really wouldn't be there for Tikitakan in the follow-up round, but it's been a day where sides have been struggling to convert maps after getting that 14 scoreline. Aben now pushing Ivy for his opportunity for a frag. Sensei, he probably will go down here as he's spoilt for choice. Instead, he legs Red Star and is happy to back away at the moment. They deploy the smoke to defend themselves, a little unnecessarily perhaps, as the T's put down a smoke of their own, but that nade does intense amounts of damage.
It really does. Tikitakan coming into this round, they need to find that opening pick. And with a minute on the clock, you've taken a load of damage. You haven't actually taken any control whatsoever. It becomes really, really dangerous. That deep smoke coming in from Ivy gives them a little bit of leg room to work over there, but Crazy aren't even contesting it. A nice early pick from Red Star will give them that man advantage. In fact, no, it won't. It's the other way. He now finds himself on though, so brings it back into a 4-on-4. Aben gives them the man advantage. But 30 seconds on the clock, they need to make a move.
3-on-2, they have the lead, but Sensei still alive and kicking with this AWP in close range. He spots DJ, needs to get that shot, but he just can't scope in time. 5 HP is Aben now, and Toxic definitely has a chance to retake this. They are a hair's breadth from death, either player against him, and he has a Molotov to work with. All he has to do is put that on the train, and that's Aben dead. Obviously, he can't quite see that angle, unfortunately, but he's looking at him. He's on the corner of his screen. My word, the black bars nearly punished Toxic in that scenario, just about spotting him out and sticking the bomb here. That was the wrong call. Spinks just shoots him straight in the head, and Tikitakan stay alive for now.
There was a lot of time left on that bomb. I'm surprised he went for the stick there. Nonetheless, they have plenty of money behind them to force into this one again. So M4s all round, the AWP available as well. We're seeing exactly the same for the Tikitakan side. They need to make sure that they close this gap, though. We can't have rounds coming as close as that. Ooh, actually connects the shot through the wall and does a tiny bit of damage, though. Needs to land the headshot there to do anything substantial. Toxic getting aggressive over towards B. Actually finding himself a kill despite being spotted. And Demq, he's got the bomb down. He's going to run away. They've got a 2-man advantage. He's got the info as well on another. Very, very smart play from Crazy there. The aggression really pays off. It was very dangerous. Nearly cost them 2 men. But did work out in the end for them.
A calculated risk, perhaps, as Tikitakan, with 3 left alive, they think their only option is to bomb out into this B site. Support yourself with a couple of smokes and pray you can find a bomb plant and hold on to that retake. Early smoke dropped as Toxic in the corners, only on 13 HP, and they haven't spotted him out yet. He's dealt damage onto Aben, but not been able to kill him. And now this AWP from Sensei needs to open up. Tikitakan, they have lost bomb control as well, and it should all be over here. Sensei whipping a shot, but Toxic strafing out for 1, and Sergis finishing up the other. 15-8 in the lead. Tikitakan would need a flawless 7 consecutive rounds to stay alive on train. Crazy looking like they want to take us onto Mirage early.
They get themselves onto match point nice and early. Plenty of chances to close this one out. The bomb there, and they potentially cross to the site, get it down. They can play off of that. It's still, they were in a disadvantageous position to take the round there, but picking up all these kills. Crazy able to take it 16-8. That round was far too quick, and it all slipped away. Tikitakan, they were looking good in the first half, but we really saw nothing from them in the second.
Crazy really coming into their own there on the second half of Train, and now it's comfortable territory for the Ukrainian side in Mirage as our second map. Can Crazy 2-0 this season?
Initialize booting. These are your targets. You must find, capture and contain them until extract. Witnesses are irrelevant. End of a transmission. System online.
Hello everyone and welcome back to 9to5 2. It's map 2 of our second decider series of the Tway between Tikitakan and CR4ZY. CR4ZY winning their own map pick of Train rather convincingly. They're 16-8, and now Tikitakan have the opportunity to take their map pick, but it's also a rather strong one for the Ukrainians, so we could have a hard-fought series on our hands. My name is Protalis, and joining me to talk you through this series with me is, of course, M&J. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's Tikitakan. We need to worry about right now. They have to convert this Mirage game, otherwise this will be a swift 2-0 for CR4ZY. And from what we saw from them on Train, there's definitely the potential here going into Mirage. It's their strongest map. However, 16-8 we saw on Train. That's a dominant performance, whichever way you look at it. Even though it was pretty close in the first half, and like Tikitakan were actually getting the kills and almost converting the rounds in the second. That is a very, very dominant performance from CR4ZY. And especially stringing together as many rounds as they did on their second half, if they can carry that momentum into this Mirage game and actually have a good T side, then they have got a very, very good chance of closing this series out 2-0.
They certainly do. Their T side was definitely their stronger side up against Level Up yesterday. I think they only won 2 rounds in total on their CT side when all things were considered on Mirage, but Level Up themselves had a very impressive T side. So Tikitakan on that CT defense are going to have their work up against them. They're another side who are stronger on the offensive side of things, so CR4ZY going to be pressuring them early after a good first map, but Spinks and Red Star are holding on with the USPSs and landing the necessary headshots. Sensei's opened up with 1, but it looks like no more for CR4ZY as Tikitakan comfortably clean up the B-bomb site.
That was a really clean round. She went for that gamble stack early on, and then as soon as the steps of sound cues were there, they just confirmed it completely. Everyone rotated over and dealt with that one with relative ease. They had a nice little triangle formation set up here, so there was really no chance that CR4ZY were going to come out on top unless they actually just landed those pinpoint accurate headshots straight off the bat. As soon as you get into a gunfight where you're actually spamming away at someone, like his teammate's just going to peek from elsewhere and shoot you in the side of the head. So very nice round from Tikitakan. CR4ZY, they've actually fully invested into this one to try and contest it back. And, well, this aggression towards Underpass might work out for them. Aben is playing anti-flash. Does mean he is also watching Underpass, but he's only got an MP9 long range. So, strong setup for Tikitakan on mid, but that's where CR4ZY are aggressing, and so far a 1-for-1 trade.
Well, Spinks' USPS is all that's needed in mid to finish off securing the round for Tikitakan as DemQ looks for bonus damage towards the death of this round. It might just be him going to an early grave though as they swing round and take him out. He'll at least make it costly for Tikitakan to confess, but CR4ZY now look ahead to eco in round 3 for the buy in round 4. This is exactly how Tikitakan started on Train, but that first gun round went the way of CR4ZY on that T side, and as the CTs fight for this upcoming round, they'll certainly have that in the back of their minds.
Full eco now for CR4ZY, so Tikitakan should be able to put 3 down. CR4ZY heading over towards this B site though. It's looking like they're actually going to go for the B fake. And then the bomb will try and go down on A. Now there's only one anchor player. And that's Red Star on this B side. So if the Glocks can overwhelm him and take him down, the rotations might actually be called and the bomb might be able to get planted here. The issue is that Flames are still over on A and they are just making easy work of these B players. There's no chance whatsoever that this bomb's going down. And, well, to really add to it, Sensei actually pokes his gun through the smoke. So Tikitakan put themselves on 3 with ease, not really taking any casualties in that one. So easy stuff for them. It's now CR4ZY's time to try and close this gap, do what they did last game. They don't want to allow Tikitakan to pull away with some enormous lead early on.
Oh, that was a real chance there for Sensei. It's rare that you see him miss shots like that, and Red Star and Aben both opening up massively onto this crazy side. The gun round is pretty much already over as the heavy mid commitment from the CTs just dominates the early game, and this is what I really like to see from Mirage sides. I feel like in the current meta, because of how much emphasis T sides have been putting on mid, CTs have been falling away from it more and more often because they're afraid to commit the resources and lose the early gunfights. But this round is a real example of what you can do if you do commit those early resources down mid. Decimate 3 crazy players who didn't look ready whatsoever and weaken them already on the T side.
Undecided whether Crazy are going for a save call here. It's not really looking like they're committing to anything. They're just kind of dancing around looking for damage. But as the bomb's actually been handed off and it's heading up the B apartments, it's looking like they are going for this one. If Toxic can find this player in the ladder room, this is absolutely doable. They've got time to work with. They're just at a 2-man disadvantage, and that flash is going to confirm that they're going over towards B, especially with that scope being spotted. Aben's never going to be missing that one. Toxic, despite finding the kills that he needed to find, he's now being spammed in the back. He's got 3 to find, and there's absolutely no chance of him doing so. Tikitakan secure the buy round, retain the orb, keep 3 players alive, put themselves 4-0 right now as Crazy. Well, they've got some money in the bank, but it's not going to be enough to pull out a buy, so just the pistols in Kevlar, and Tikitakan have another opportunity. Try and have an easy one, put it 5-0 right now.
A great start on Mirage, and Train perhaps a map that Tikitakan desperately were trying to avoid in prior best of ones, as we saw it really wasn't the most effective map for them to be playing on in that last one. DJ's found Psycho now, and Spink's finding Toxic is a perfect start against the pistol as Flames up close. Want to turn around just yet. So, he's found the second onto Demq as well. That is very nice indeed. Serg is cleaned up below the A ramp, and it is the 5-0 start for Tikitakan. And I have a little bit of information here you might be interested. This Tikitakan roster was previously signed to the Nine organization before they picked up those Turkish players.
Okay. So not just a complete mix of it, effectively a team with just a couple of new members. What's daunting right now though is Tikitakan. Asia is sitting on 10k. Flames is sitting on $9,000. So not only do they have this lead, but they have so much money behind them. Even if Crazy win this buy round, they've got to face up against at least another 2 buys from Tikitakan. Right now, Demq, he's found himself in the corner, but they're just walking straight through. No flash needed, and Demq's not expecting that one at all. Tikitakan find that early man advantage. And they're really showing that they're strong on Mirage, especially their CT side. They have no issue with getting aggressive. They have no issue with taking map control and winning these aim duels. And right now, Crazy just can't find themselves anything into these rounds.
They really can't. And this is devastating news for Crazy because the T side was where they had all of their success previously. I know that statistically speaking, their CT side is supposed to be that stronger one. I'm just talking about the eye test yesterday. Really not showing any promising results for the Ukrainian side as DJ anticipates the Palace push, but he's missing his shots, and Flames is down in a ramp as well. That is the nightmare fall apart on that A bomb site. Now as DJ up close has to find Psycho. He's sprinting forward, but he does get the kill. Brings it into a 3-on-3 and now has to await the arrival of his teammates in this retake. Red Star Shadow gives him away and allows Toxic to convert, leaving the CTs in a 2-on-3.
It's a horrible position for Crazy right now, just on the basis that DJ are coming in from ramp. They've got to be so careful of him. And look at this, they're not even watching for it. He finds Sensei, but as his teammate falls, he's left in a 1-on-2. No chance for it as Toxic takes him down. And Crazy, despite losing that early man advantage, they turn the tables, manage to pull it off. The issue is, and as I said before, a couple of those players on that Tikitakan side are actually still on a bonus round. They just bought SMGs ages ago, and they just hadn't lost them yet. A lot of these players right now are only sitting on 2 or so deaths, so plenty of money to rebuy into this one. And AWP on Aben, rifles on the rest, and as he goes for the jump, he spots the player's cross, goes for a shot through the smoke and can't connect it. But still a lot of utility damage done early on for Tikitakan.
I'm not sure if he lands a cheeky leg there onto CR4ZY or whether that was just all utility damage. The fact that he's so low does indicate that maybe, and yeah, you can see the bullet going through the box as well, so it looks like he just managed to hit a tag onto a mid player before having to fall away, which was slightly regrettable, but at least he's done the damage early and his AWP is alive. The problem that Tikitakan need to overcome now for the remainder of their round is that they have one smoke left. They have a bunch of flashes for sure, but the utility really favors this crazy side when leaning into an execution. And
well, they are relatively set up to hold off A here, but actually they've pulled a rotation over towards B. I eat my words as soon as I say it. The smokes come through. The Molotov's not going to be all too effective as Flames swings out, gets himself one, make that two. Still no trades coming in. He's still alive as he's looking to find himself a third. The nade comes through. Ooh, can't. Quite right back and save. Tikitakan bouncing back, making sure that their opponents can't string together any more than one, and keeping their economy on tight reins.
with 5 players alive, that's huge economy of Tikitakan, who won't have to invest onto any players if they choose not to hunt CR4ZY down here. That is amazing work after losing a round immediately to preserve their own economy. Just brilliant news. Flames this double kill on 1 HP. Demq has to back off because he's being peeked from elsewhere, and it all goes wrong indeed. 6-1. Lead then for the mixed squad, and the Ukrainians now looking at a bit of...
Of course, they've got a decent loss bonus right now, so they have got some money behind them to work with. The issue is they don't want that loss bonus. They want that. Especially if they're going to have a repeat CT performance from what we saw yesterday. They need to make sure that this is a strong T half. Good smoke from Sphinx gives DJ a nice little one-way to work with. Engagements taken as of yet. A single point of damage on Aben. There's a minute now on the clock. CR4ZY are starting to take this mid control.
This time uncontested by Tikitakan, who again, despite having all of the money they could possibly want, don't have much utility left towards the late round. But this time, because CR4ZY's economy isn't the best, they don't have much to work with either. Demq's found the opening kill at minimum, but DJ has found one from Connector and dropped the bomb as well, which has eaten up precious seconds that CR4ZY need to execute here. But they found a second kill, and they're looking for additional space. Toxic can just make it to the site safely, but Sphinx is here now to try for more kills. Each CT player's only getting one, unfortunately, and that's not enough when Demq had the first of the round. Aben now has converted this into a 2-on-2, but Red Star up close could be at risk of Toxic taking him down. Aben's AWP opening big again with a shot, but now it's the 1-on-1 against Sensei, the Ukrainian AWPing talent. Flash out to blind him as he swings right and waits for this aggression. He's going to tap the bomb, and he can stick it scoped in. Oh, this is beautiful play now. Sensei has to peek up, but he does not have the time. He thought he'd baited Aben off, but he had not. 7-1 as the CTs continue their streak.
Tikitakan coming out on top in those really, really close scenarios. That should have been CR4ZY's round there, but they let it slip away. And Well, what can you say for them right now? I would have said, after you picked up on it a couple of times, Tikitakan maybe need to be a little bit more careful and not use too much utility early on in the round and instead save some for the post-play situation. But they seem to be able to just win these clutches out just with the gunfights. Actually, the utility isn't too necessary. Of course, a smoke would have helped that situation, of course, like a lot. Tikitakan now sits 7-1. Another buy comes through from CR4ZY. But they sit round further away now. 6 needed to level this one up. There's only 7 left in the half.
That's because they're running out of runway here on Mirage. They did well to earn themselves a 1-map advantage that they now hold in their back pocket for the series. But here on a map they picked against Level Up yesterday, they seem to be struggling against Tikitakan. This is supposed to Tikitakan really outperforming them at the moment. This time Psycho's overwhelmed DJ on the way into that A bomb site, but Flames has gone for a crazy mid flank at the moment. He has info onto Sensi in connector as well, and he's just removed him. That Sergis has got the double on B. That's enough to recover this round at minimum for Crate.
Alive as well, just being assertive with presence right now. Doesn't even need to peek into this kill. Flames knows if he tries to walk up connector, he'll be punished for it, and instead retrieves the AWP, falls right back, and for now, CR4ZY going to allow him to take it. They know that their opponents have got loads of money in the bank. They know that they don't. They are actually hunting right now, though, and it's probably going to cost Toxic here, as he hasn't even got his gun out. They are now going to know Flames' position, and they're continuing to hunt here.
They try and wrap into him on the B bomb site, but that's not quite where he's hiding. Instead, the AWP will be saved, and that is going to be a vital part of this buy. Ivan has about 7.6k on the board, so he's going to drop rifles around, and the rest of that CT side can still put guns on the board. That means CR4ZY really haven't escaped danger yet. They have to get through another full buy here before they've broken the economy of Tikitakan, and that could be a serious issue if Ivan is allowed aggressive AWP kills.
Well, Ivan going for that jump doesn't work out for him. Instead has to take 50 damage from the Molotov before his teammate can put a smoke on it. That's not what you want to see from your AWPer, especially not that. DJ just swinging out wide like that. He did hand the AWP off to his teammate. Oh no, in fact it was Aben with the team. They take a lot of damage as well, as Red Star's sitting on 60. CR4ZY in a good position to try and convert this round, but with a minute 10 on the clock, they need to start taking some control over towards a bomb site. So well and good taking that mid control. It's a huge chunk of the map to have, but they need to bounce back here.
Oh, DemQ just gets the timing in the last 40 seconds. Bonus money and hopefully a converted round. It looks so ballsy that he finds that kill. Unfortunately, he can't convert the second onto the bench. Either way, though, amazing opening play for him to just guess the angle right. Sensei at close range has found an AWP kill too, but Aben eventually puts him down and gives Tikitakan the confirmed advantage at the end of the half.
Aben really proven himself to be a worthy opponent to the AWP of Sensei. He has been very, very consistent with these shots. Tikitakan put themselves onto 8. A round that CR4ZY really should have had there. They had a man advantage. They dealt a whole load of damage early on. They just let it slip away. However, this loss bonus means that they can continue to contest this one, but they need to start putting up some numbers. They want to have a decent half here, and Red Star getting aggressive in the apartments might be able to catch out Toxic. He does exactly that. Toxic not expecting the aggression at all, and the man advantage going into CT's favor early on.
Tikitakan going from strength to strength on this CT side here. And Crazy, other than perhaps at the beginning when they had the full gun rounds out earlier on in this half, they looked like they could get something done for sure, but ever since then, it's gotten a little bit dangerous indeed. Red Star wandering around the B-bomb himself behind the pillars as he's the only one here. Tikitakan misreading it severely. As the Molotov comes out, though, it's just single dispatchment of utility on A, but it's enough to draw the rotating Spinks back into the A site. That's going to mean Red Star is in a 3-on-1 with an AWP on first contact.
Flash coming over. You think it would force him off, but instead he just holds down mouse 1 and tries to do the damage. Flames does find DemQ, but he's just there as a distraction, really, on that A site. The man advantage was in the favor of Tikitakan, but a fantastic flick from Sensei leveled it back up for a few seconds. He's now got the angle on short. It doesn't matter, though. Psycho converts that kill, brings it into a 2-on-2. An AWP on both sides and a rifle to back them up.
Smokes the drop as well for these Ts. If they want to utilize them. Sensei, he's not looking the right way at the moment, but he's found the shot onto Ivan. Flames punishes him in the back, and that leaves Psycho, the IGL, alone and afraid. Low HP in front, but it's Flames who he just has to hide from at this point, and he knows it. Tikitakan, no opportunity and no time in the... Flames is desperate just to survive at this point and recover the AWP. Crazy with their third so far in the half, but still not quite broken that economy. It looks like a force may just still come through with Flames picking up another rifle.
Really, really important stuff there for Crazy to convert. They played that one really well, actually. Just in that scenario, hiding behind the bench, playing the time, don't need to swing out and try and take any kind of contact. Very, very well played indeed. Finally, they've somewhat broken the bank of Tikitakan. They have got a double AWP set up, of course, but not a whole lot to work with elsewhere. Doesn't matter. Red Star, the flash is perfect from his teammate. He's able to swing out and find 2. And now Crazy heavily on the back foot. Somehow, the needle is thread by Aben as he shoots between the 2 opponents. And actually, Crazy managed to level things back out into the 3-on-3. The MP9 swings out again, doesn't spot himself anything. Aben's still on this angle. They need to smoke him off before they can cross here. Or just fall right back, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Let's try the B-bomb site. That's what Crazy are thinking, and Flames is here with the secondary AWP. He's just spotted that van player in the form of Sensei now as well, who doesn't have an AWP against him. It's Mobile with the rifle instead. All the players have rotated into B, and Crazy still have time to take this bomb to A if they want to. That's why Toxic is currently looking at going into Underpass and pushing into that A bomb site. It's exactly what's going to happen, as I think DemQ's the man in connector early on. He'll cross the site, but A wants to, drops it off the back of Toxic, and now DemQ has to go back and fight a nightmarish one-on-one. He'll recover the bomb, but that gives opportunity for these 2 Tikitakan players to advance.
Aben is not missing a shot. That was such a fantastic cross shot available to shoot at, and he somehow connects it. Even in that final scenario, that jumping across shot, not always the easiest to hit, but he's been so consistent this game. Puts Tikitakan onto 9 now. And Crazy, well, off the back of winning the round prior, they haven't really got anything to invest into this one.
And you're looking in Inferno as our third map. That was the map that Crazy lost to level up in the best of 3 series they played yesterday. Crazy won Mirage, and they closed out Nuke as the third, but Inferno was a convincing loss for them. They do not want to end up on that map as a decider, but right now, Tikitakan are doing everything to make sure they take us there. It's just pistols for Crazy to get work done here, and they can't find anything. Double digits secured at bare minimum for Tikitakan at the end of the first half as they hunt down this 11-4 scoreline, and Crazy must be feeling the pressure.
They really are right now. This is another one of those scenarios where they can turn the tables here. They can have a 10-5 half. It's really not great, but it's doable if they can take the CT pistol. It's not too bad. But yeah, if they let a couple more rounds slip here, then they've really got no chance coming into this game, and they will be looking ahead to Inferno, which, as you say, they don't want to be going on to Inferno. This is their best chance of closing this one out, and I'm surprised they have the success rate that they have in the past on Mirage, because we're not really seeing a whole lot from them here. I'm quite sort of disappointed with the performance that we're seeing from Crazy so far. Look at this from Red Star. DemQ not expecting that at all. He's even got the bomb down. This is horrendous right now for Crazy.
Gets caught out with a flash in hand though, Red Star. Tries to get too much done. And now Toxic is making noise over towards B, but he looks like he's just going to get ripped apart as he doesn't anticipate Spinks might be playing the close angle. Psycho's opened up onto the A-bomb site though, so this round is getting messy for either side as Flames misses shots from underpass and has an opportunity to look for Psycho now. Can convert the kill in the late instance, and Crazy with just 2 left alive. They want to push in towards the B site. Spinks punishes Sergez and drops the bomb, leaving Sensei in another 1-on-3.
This is just really confusing right now, but Sensei almost landing the no scope. Yeah, he's so close with these flicks, but he just can't convert it. Tikitakan get themselves onto 11, and I just don't get this from Crazy right now. What Toxic was doing on B just baffles me. They're in a 4 versus 4. They've got plenty of time on the clock, and he just kind of charges through the B smokes and tries to make some kind of crazy hero play, but actually doesn't even have his gun out and just isn't expecting a close player at all. When in that scenario, why wouldn't there be a close player? There's always going to be a B anchor, and he's always going to either be on the site, he's going to be around the bench or jail area, or he's going to be close to Van. So to just completely neglect it and just hope that no one's there is just crazy. Now they sit 11-3 down. Limited firepower to work with coming into round number 15, and best case scenario, they take an 11-4 half. They have seriously got their work cut out for them on their CT side if they want to try and convert this one and take the series 2-0.
They're going to try and brute force their way into that B bomb site. Spinks has found the first kill though. Red Star's opening up as well with a rifle, and this round might be all said and done without a single kill. Crazy fall apart, 12-3 down on their T side of Mirage. The nightmarish performance, and almost the opposite of what happened yesterday on this map for them. Bear in mind that they were only able to win 2 CT rounds in total against Level Up in regulation time. It really doesn't bode well for Crazy heading on to what should be the stronger side of the map in general. They are desperate for this pistol, otherwise it could be all over already.
Whilst it may seem ridiculous, maybe Crazy just it doesn't matter what side they're on. They either take that early lead and they throw it away, or they take a really brutal early loss and then bring it back. It really seems like what we've seen a lot. I mean, we saw it earlier on, of course, in that Gamer Legion game where they took a huge lead and then they throw it away. Tikitakan might do the same here. To be honest, they're looking really, really strong. They're just looking in control of these situations, so I'd really be surprised if that's the case. But Crazy, they need to win this pistol round, and right now they're whiffing all the shots. This is not good at all. Sergez does come out on top. He's in a 1 versus 2 that he needs to clutch up, and he already knows that they're headed over to B. So he's going for that rotation, needs to hit that shot though, and Spinks actually, instead of just running to the B site and going for that bomb plant, the pure BM on him goes for the shot and somehow connects it. 13-3 to Tikitakan. I think Crazy are already defeated at this point. They're forcing into this one. They know if they lose this round, their opponents get to match point. And at this point, they're just looking ahead to Inferno, I suppose.
They must be. That last play there from Spinks, that was a risk for sure. Had a bomb on his back in a 1v2, decides to take an isolated engagement in mid. If he messed that up, that'd have been Crazy's pistol potentially. Unfortunately, for the Ukrainian side, though they aren't able to capitalize on that one-on-one engagement, and now they have to defend the A-bomb site against what will be a wave of Tikitakan T's looking to brute force in, starting with Flames, who jumps down and has actually spotted a player in front of that balcony, but he hasn't communicated to anyone that they're there. Doesn't matter, though, as the kill does come through eventually. More smokes are dropped into Connector and flashes in jungle likewise. However, Toxic has found the first kill back for Crazy, but they don't want to contest this round.
Not the worst of calls to go back for this save here. They've got some Kevlar, they've got a couple of pistols, and if they save that Kevlar, then they've got something to work with in the next round. Of course, if they all died this round, they'd then have to go onto the eco in the next. Tikitakan can put themselves onto 15, and they've just got nothing to contest them from getting to match point. Whereas, save these weapons, you've then got something to work with in the next round. You'll also get the bonus cash as well, of course, because you're on that CT side alive as well. They do a lot of damage, but Tikitakan keep 4. That's going to work wonders for their economy. Little reinvestment needed. We sit 14-3 right now. I wasn't expecting this from Crazy. I was expecting a whole lot more
Potential from Crazy on this map. I mean, even if they haven't been having much success on it recently, they were at least competitive against Level Up. They did, yes, choke the hell out of their CT side, but they brought it back into multiple overtimes and ended up winning. No one gets any kills. That is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Neither side until one does go either way in the second round of disadvantage off the end of that one. But Crazy, they've had to spread their defenses out now.
Really have, and with that Molotov they have to give up that mid control as well. Tikitakan are playing this one quite well. They've got a player in the apartments, they've got someone in Palace. Just keeping Crazy guessing. Slowly but surely where they want to go. Top connector smoke means they probably go up short here, but as they're all regrouping over towards A, I think it is going to be an A hit. Sergey's position is absolutely perfect. That takes out Red Star and actually gives him a rifle to work with if he wants to go back for it. But for now, he's here to support his to cause havoc as Demq finds one more. It's all on Aben in a 1v3. The Deagle spots him through, prevent Tikitakan from getting to match point.
They just play that one a little bit too spread out against the Deagles. Tikitakan not moving together for the quick refrags, instead giving opportunities for those one bullet headshots to come through and enough time for Crazy to fall back into cover. A great round for them to hold on to, but they would need 10 in a row just to tie things up at this point. And with 4 AKs out again in this, Tikitakan certainly want to be applying pressure. However, they just have 1 smoke and 2 flashes to work with, so it's really all going to be on this contact aim.
Demq nice and aggressive in mid right now, really contesting it. Instead, Flames trying to get, so he gets punished for it. Psycho now trying to take that long range fight with a FAMAS. The flash comes through and he's actually going for seconds. Doesn't spot himself anything. Instead, gonna throw that smoke, gonna fall off of it. A man advantage now for Tikitakan. They head back over towards this A site. There will be 3 CTs ready and waiting as the B. This for Crazy.
Tikitakan charged through the A round back, but Psycho is the man who replies for Crazy and leaves it in the 3-on-3 situation. Aben, look at that flanking connector. This could be absolutely lethal. He has info on a triple player and on a guy watching stairs, but he jumped like a huge mistake made there by the player, and now Sensei might be able to recover it. Spinks, 1-on-2, AK in hand, desperate for a first headshot as he retreats around the box, but the jump allows Psycho to find a USP headshot as well. That round could have gone very differently if Aben didn't jump in connector.
It really could have. He had 2 free kills lined up there, and as soon as he finds those, even if he finds one of them, they probably come out on top there, but really, really unfortunate. Crazy, by the skin of their teeth, managed to pull back another. It's a lifeline, especially now that Tikitakan are forced down to the pistol. There's definitely potential for Crazy to bring back. Haven't been super convincing rounds. They've come down to very, very close and have come out on top in. They need to start stepping up their game here and having some more convincing rounds to pull off this comeback. Well, it's Toxic, only good for 1 through that smoke. Tikitakan should actually be able to get the bomb down on B.
The plant, all they're really looking for, they're dealing damage here, and they've discovered and found, although on low health, they just need to use the pistols to bait them out really and try and find kills where they can be shooting these CTs in the bank. Info given that excellent round for Tikitakan considering it was the eco
scenario. They were fighting for their lives, and it could have very easily gone the other way had one of those rifles just landed a couple of like lucky headshots kind of thing. Far too close for Crazy to take 3 casualties and to give. This is exactly what I'm talking about. As Tikitakan, they're now back on a buy. They haven't got an AWP available. They've got a decent amount of utility, and Crazy need to pull something out the bag here to try and contest this one and actually win this buy round, put some more rounds on the board.
Toxic's trying to peek aggressively on short now. Thankfully for Crazy, it's not like Tikitakan were ready to go for an all-out B rush from that position, but that could have gone much worse for the Ukrainian side as Red Star jump peeking. I'm not sure whether he quite gets the information onto Demq's short position there. Either way, it's an excellent job for Tikitakan to find an opening kill again, and Aben just about peeking away from window at the wrong time here. Could get punished by Sensei's AWP, and it does indeed occur. 4-on-4 brought back as Crazy really want to hold on to mid.
Well, some fights about to happen as Psycho, with no flash, walks right into 2 enemies. I don't think Tikitakan were expecting that one, but just playing the numbers, they come out on top. They've taken this mid control. Now, Demq, you'd think he'd be able to find that kill onto Red Star, but doesn't want to spam through the smoke. Wants to try and focus on these other 2 in top mid anyway, and therefore allows him to get through. Relays it to Sensei, who can find the kill. Demq finds 1. It's actually onto the full HP player as well. So a 2 versus 2. Flames is low. This is very doable for Crazy right now, especially if Sensei can hit this shot, and he does so with ease. A fantastic flick. The bomb's now down in the apartments, and Flames knows there's absolutely no chance of him converting this round. He is going to go for it nonetheless. He's actually going to go and grab this bomb. As soon as he goes for the plant, surely he gets taken out. Sensei's not even going to wait for that. He's just going to peek him straight off the bat and put Crazy onto 7.
Tikitakan are giving me a little bit of deja vu at the moment for Gamer Legion when they were 14x up in their map on the T side. They just lost all semblance of pace. They stopped all of that aggressive play they were working with, all the beautiful chaotic situations they were creating, slowed down massively into just default Counter-Strike, where you try and play every fight for the advantage and play slowly. It really failed Gamer Legion, and I'd hate to see Tikitakan fall into the same trap. They might get the plant on A, but it's the Eagles and Tech9's hunting for more work at the moment, but this AWP is the real dangerous factor that's still kicking and not smoked off.
They need to make sure they don't take too many casualties here, and actually they pick up the pieces quite well towards the end. It was looking a little bit dangerous when it came into a sort of 3-on-3 situation, but Tikitakan do manage to get the bomb down. But it does mean that CREYZI can start to put some more rounds, close this gap. Of course, their opponents are on 14 right now. They're only on the mere 8. But they're on their way there, and that's all we can really ask for right now.
Tikitakan, they have to win an opening round soon. That's a brilliant way to start. The bomb's not too far away either, but they don't want to explode into A and capitalize. And really, if they did that, that would be a huge advantage. The quicker they go, the better. I know it's obviously easy for me to be saying that with Tikitakan, and it looks like that's just what they're going to be doing. They drop the wall of smokes, and Psycho attempts to get frags back through them. Instead, it's Spinks who punishes the tracers of DemQ, and it's the double man advantage now for the T side. They turn up the pace on the A bomb site, and it's worked out for a double entry.
Oh, the nade comes through, isn't able to do the damage, and they're just getting spammed through the smokes right now. Crazy. This is not what you want to see at all right now. Toxic from behind. Could take out Sphinx, but to be honest, as soon as he lands that shot, all eyes will be on Palace, and he won't be able to do any more than that. CREYZI have just cut their losses, accepted that this round is gone. Their opponents now on match point, and they need to pull back 7 in a row to take it to OT. It's overtime. Not overtime, sorry. Inferno. Certainly not overtime.
With you, Inferno, looking like the battleground we end up on. And listen, while CREYZI have been playing this map a lot recently, they don't look like the hot prospect I perhaps thought they may have been at the beginning of these 9-to-5 events. They've struggled a lot more in recent maps on Inferno, and it does not bode well for the Ukrainian side that it dictates their chances for survival in this tournament.
With Flames opening up with this round, burst onto this A site, there needs to be a response, and Sensei, whilst he's good for one, trades right back in the other way, and again, just trading back and forth. They're playing the numbers game. It's about to happen again unless DemQ can find 2. He's done exactly that, and Aben now. He's able to trade it out, but he's sitting on 10 HP. He's forced to fall right back. He hasn't got the bomb on him. He's going to try and wrap all the way around and get to connector before Toxic realizes it. Or is he going to go?
He might go through CT.
Wow, this is quite smart. He's got plenty of time to do so. And at this point, Toxic has absolutely no idea where he could be. He could be anywhere now. The last time he was seen was sort of 20 seconds ago. He's got plenty of time here. This is
so sneaky. It's so sneaky, Aben. If this wins the round, what a hero. Whoever made this call for the Tikitakan side, buy them a beer after this match, because it's won them Mirage and it's taking them on to a map 3. Hello everybody and welcome back to the third and final map of our second Decider series here in 9to5 2 CR4ZY versus Tikitakan. Definitely going all of the distance, and it looks like Tikitakan may have just won out that knife round and been able to secure the opening side in their favor. They'll likely be starting on the CT side of things as they have a real opportunity now to close CR4ZY out of 9to5 2 and upset them in this best of 3 series. It has been going all of the way indeed. My name is Protalis, and talking you through things with me is, of course, M&J.
Well, we've got another series that's gone the distance. We saw it earlier on with, of course, the alternate attacks Gamer Legion matchup, and I mean that one was a really unfortunate turn of events. I think Gamer Legion really should have taken that 2-0 and it ended up slipping away. Alternate attacks pulled off this huge comeback. That's not really the case this time. It really feels like CR4ZY had a pretty dominant performance on Train. Tikitakan had a pretty dominant performance on Mirage. They've taken each other's map picks. Well, in fact, they've taken their own map picks with ease. Now we're on Inferno. This is really the decider, and we don't know anything about Tikitakan on Inferno. They have never played a single match on Haytel TV, so they could be great, they could be terrible. And CR4ZY don't have the best track record on it either, so we're just going to have to wait and see how this one pans out. There's not a lot of insight I can give here, because it's just so unknown.
We're going to have to see at the beginning of this map how Tikitakan handle things. I would personally edge them out just because of Inferno's position in CR4ZY's map pool at the moment. It is down there with some of those less successful maps for the side. They did struggle intensely against Level Up on the map yesterday. And so it doesn't inspire me with too much faith after that Mirage performance, which CR4ZY were actually able to win against Level Up, albeit in a few consecutive overtimes. I do fear, having lost to Tikitakan on Mirage, that Inferno may be too tall a task. But right now, both sides are so passive. It's rare to see this in a T-side pistol round. They're going to deploy smokes onto the B site to try and bait in rotations and then hit A hard. There's 3 stacked in B. They're going to have to rotate rather quickly.
Can't find himself anything as he gets overwhelmed. A 4 versus 3 now for CR4ZY to work with as the bomb goes down. No kit alive on Tikitakan as they come in for this retake. All 3 players coming up from short. And they get closer and closer. The issue is that as you get closer, you fall into the trap of these Glocks. They come in from both angles. No kills as of yet, but actually it's Tikitakan to come out on top. How on earth are they doing this? They're pulling this one off. It's now a 1v1. Zergiz needs to land this shot, but Spinks is against the clock and he has to push and he can't convert it. CR4ZY. A little bit too close for comfort, but they do come out on top with the pistol round and go 1-0 up.
Potentially vital for them as well on this map to start strong against opponents who've already taken them to a third. And when you're at risk of elimination, winning the opening pistol in the last map can just be the bit of breathing room that you are looking for to try and make some moves, especially on that weaker T side. CR4ZY need to be careful as Tikitakan have brought that force forward. Deagle's available alongside Aben's scout, and this is a round the Ukrainians really don't want to be losing.
It's really not. It's one of those ones where if they actually lose this round, they're in a worse position than if they just lose the pistol and then go for that eco. Really fully invested into this one. They've got 3 Galils here. They are just against the Deagle, so they should be able to make this one work, but with the heavy commitment over towards A and no one watching the backlines, there is of course potential for the flank to come through Banana. Tikitakan not going for that for now though, so instead just a little bit of damage being dealt early on. No engagements as of yet. The flashes come through and they do push through the apartment. More if Toxic doesn't find it first, and now a 5-on-2. It's Flames and they really have no chance of clutching this one up. I actually thought CR4ZY were walking into a stack and that they were going to struggle to get onto this A site, but they handle it well, and Zergiz with that Mac 10 goes absolutely huge.
The big problem for this Tikitakan side, I feel, is that the limited information we have from them in terms of map history is on both Mirage and Dust 2. And the most of their wins have been coming out of best of one series. And what that suggests to me, perhaps, is that your opponents don't have much evidence. They can't prepare for you. You get shock upset in a one map. And listen, on maps like Mirage and Dust 2, that is perfectly possible. If a side uses a puggy playstyle effectively on those two maps, they can quite fundamentally overwhelm you. So my only worry is, my point here is that Tikitakan's map pool might be slightly limited as a younger roster as well, who aren't quite at the level of Crazy. Despite only being 10 places below them in the rankings, they don't quite have the tenure of that organization. And it's that experience that can cause you to have a slightly shrunk map pool, which perhaps could lead to some troubles for them here on Inferno.
Seems to be a recurring theme that Crazy take the early couple of rounds. The issue they have is holding on to it. They should be able to convert this one, of course. They are just against the pistols, and if they can take as few casualties as possible and rack up those kills with those SMGs, they'll be able to build up quite a substantial bank going into their buy round. But they need to make sure that they hold on to this lead and try and extend it further. Sphinx is able to buy one. Yet to be traded, actually. It's a 4-on-2. Psycho's on 2 HP. Definitely potential for them to do more damage here, as they're actually really hunting for this one. I'm surprised Crazy are going for this as aggressively as they are. They are pushing through. Flame's able to find himself another with this Deagle. And considering this is a full eco, they've done a fair amount of economical damage. If they can find one more kill, this would be a good round for Tikitakan.
Definitely damaged out, and Flames did have a chance there to save a Galil forward if he wanted it, but now he will actually be able to recover a Mac 10. Not the perfect weapon, but it's still something as he hunts forward and looks to deal more damage. Nobody peeking into him immediately, and Sergiz from the rear will take his back. 3-0 lead as Tikitakan now look to the full gun round, and we will get to see whether or not this CT side have something special to show us on Inferno. They nearly contested that pistol and brought it back into a victory situation. So let's see whether or not they can be effective when they have the full guns on the board.
Aben, with this AWP, was very, very good with it on Mirage. We didn't see a whole lot from him on Train. We actually really saw very little rounds where he was able to pull out that AWP on Train. He certainly proved his worth on Mirage, and let's see if he can do the same on Inferno. This is where it really counts. Third map needs to be showing up. Has to try and convert this one. First fair buy round of the map so far, and it's playing out very, very slow. Minute 15 already on the clock. No engagements taken as of yet. However, Crazy have taken some control over towards the apartments. Tikitakan have actually got, whilst they don't have control of Banana, they've got the sight line, they can see no one's there, so relatively balanced round so far. Just the clock's ticking down, and this could be dangerous for Crazy. If they try and leave this too late, they could be punished for it.
That does seem to be the bane of these T sides in online Counter-Strike, leaving it too late to find the bomb plant in the end. They're not having enough time to break into these bomb sites. You know the CTs are going to try and stall you out. 20 seconds is not enough to go pushing through with here, and it looks like that's the amount of time that Crazy are going to try and break in. 20 seconds is all they want to work with now. At this close range of the A bomb site, maybe it's functional as you've got very little distance to cover, but they're still going to put up a lot of effort to try and stall you. Toxic and Psycho finding the first kill onto Red Star, leaving Aben on the site, who's had his head ripped off by Psycho's Galil. People peeking DJ too late as he's trying to find damage, but it's Sphinx instead who opens up for the next kill of the round. The Galil does yet more, and this retake has been activated for Tikitakan. Sensei 9 HP, AWP in hand, and wants to defend the bomb, but with that stick there'll be no time for him.
That was absolutely ridiculous. DJ on that site somehow stays alive for as long as he did, and finds himself those kills. It's crazy. He got 2 kills. If he'd have denied the bomb plant there, that would have been ridiculous, because there actually wouldn't have been time to retrieve it and get it down again. But Yeah, crazy. That time, leaving it down to the last few seconds didn't end up costing them. It was actually the fact that they weren't expecting a third man on the site and they just couldn't deal with him that was problematic. But a very, very dangerous game to be playing, to be waiting until the 20-second mark before you execute. If they buy up into this one again, they'll be looking to contest this. They want to try and break this bank of Tikitakan early on before it gets out back.
Well, Psycho found the double entry in the last round, and he's got a kill in this, and Tikitakan need to be scared if Psycho is really going to start fragging at this point in time, because he's the in-game leader for Crazy. He's the player you expect to be on the bottom of the scoreboard, and if he's leading the way, getting the kills on the entry, then there's a lot to be feared as to how much work the rest of the aimers on his side can do. DJ does the briefest of peeks towards second mid there, but gets the information that they are going to be advancing to the A-bomb site. He's called the rotation in, and the second should be on the way soon from Aben as he's just deliberating when to advance. DJ opens up, but this is such a big whiff. Tikitakan might now have to save.
That is a massive shame for him to whiff that one, and to add insult to injury, Sensei just comes in with a Tech 9 and finishes him off. No chance for him to get away with that rifle. Aben, early save call. Bring that AK into the next round. That's really unfortunate. If DJ can actually convert that kill, which he should do 99 times out of 100, it brings it into a 2-on-2, and it's a very, very doable retake for Tikitakan. They actually could contest the bomb plant as well, but instead goes the other way. Crazy find themselves 4-1 up. And Tikitakan, I'm looking at their money. I'm not sure if they can invest into this next one. A couple of guys with nothing, a couple of guys with enough. I think this is going to be really shaky if they try and invest around this orb.
I do as well. Aben can drop one, Flames can fall by. Red Star wouldn't have much more than an MP9 in this round if he wanted to full invest, so it looks like it's just the pistols and armor. Keep everybody above 1500 with that 2.9 loss bonus. Coming forward, and Crazy with a great statement here. This is the T side of Inferno, no less, and this is normally where they do find the majority of their success. But for Tikitakan, if they are defaulting on this map of Inferno, which their CT side has suggested they are so far, I haven't seen anything too unique from them, then they're going to be in serious trouble if they end up with a round deficit heading into the second half, as that T side is, of course, more difficult.
Well, they've managed to retrieve that AWP that was dropped. Flames is the one to have it. He's the only man without the Kevlar, though, and that Molotov forces him right back. He's in a really open position here. He doesn't really want to be taking this engagement from this angle. CT will get smoked. He should really fall back to sight. That's exactly what he's going to do. Get himself an angle where he can poke his head out, try and do damage with that AWP. Crazy. Execute in this time. They've got plenty of time on the clock to do so. Minute left. Flames lands the first shot, but he should get taken out here. He's still alive, and if he can connect a second, it would be huge, but can't do the work. Sphinx is the one to get one with the Deagle, but he needs to get a second, and he can't do it. Toxic takes him out, and it's all down to Red Star in a 1-on-3. They know exactly where he's coming from, and they put bullets straight in his head. Crazy. 5-1 now as we go into round number 7. It is going to be another Tikitakan buy up. Will there be an AWP available? Flames could buy one. Flames could buy one and swap over with Aben, but that's not going to be the case. Instead, opts for the M4 in the utility. We're just going to have a full rifle buy from the Tikitakan side.
Going to have to get it done with the M4s in this round. There's the deep smoke. A top banana should prevent Tikitakan from getting any kind of aggressive control. And that's excellent work with just a very limited bit of utility early on. You can see Crazy are just dumping a HE and some flashes to make sure no one sat behind the car. But Tikitakan have gambled 4 men early on into this A-bomb site. They're leaving Flames alone to do the work on B. And he's even holding the CT angle to drop a smoke at his feet and fall back by the looks of things. So it's a very weak B site defense at the start of round 7.
Playing this single anchor player can always be dangerous if Crazy come in with aggression, but it's something that they haven't really done. Every time they've headed over towards B, They seem to play it really slow. They take the banana control. You can kind of hear them coming from a mile away, and then they have all the utility that they use on the setup as well. So playing that anchor isn't all too bad. All the rotation from the arch player as soon as that utility comes in. But as Red Storm finds the first, that's huge damage onto DemQ as well. Tikitakan have got a good opportunity to hold this one up. They start rotating back over towards B. Sphinx should get the memo and start to rotate over. As the smokes come over towards A, though, it's actually keeping them busy. Sphinx starts to second guess it. In fact, no, they've actually called the rotation over. Flames has fallen right back to CT. Psycho, he's making too much noise here. He is going to get caught out. This is unfortunate. This is all falling apart for Crazy. Yeah, that is rough. Toxic falling right back, going for that save. They've got plenty of money in the bank to buy back into this one, so it's not all too problematic, but, well, not the round that you would have wanted.
Not at all. Not if you're a Crazy fan at bare minimum. And Tikitakan, it's excellent work when all is said and done. There's no time for the plan at the end. Again, Crazy with the clock as their primary enemy in this one. And with 4 alive, it works wonders for the CT economy also. It's necessary to get that advanced utility and weaponry out on the board. This time, there's been no utility commitment from Tikitakan to Banana. Instead, they wait for the aggression. And while they do deal damage as a result of that, they're only able to take 1 damage onto Sergis.
Never even by coming through. A fair amount of utility damage being dealt, though. They continue to contest this banana control. Tikitakan not stepping down, though. Still 2 players on this corner. Sphinx behind the sandbags. They're ready to fight here. Actually, Crazy the ones to fall back. DemQ, ooh. Look who's going to peek into that. Instead runs away. His position is now known, though. Red Star, a huge advantage in this situation. But he doesn't come out on top. DemQ takes a bullet to the head, but tanks it and finds the frag. Man advantage now for Crazy with 55 seconds on the clock. They regroup, start stacking up over towards B, and that is absolutely the right call, as Sphinx is the single anchor on the site. No one is close to rotating over.
Could be a save call even off the back of this for Tikitakan if Sphinx doesn't get a minimum of 2 kills here. I don't know how they consider the retake. They've rotated Ivan in quickly, but he needs more kills on the site. 3 on 4 with 2 low HP players. They can commit to this Tikitakan if they want to, and it looks like they do indeed. They're trying to fire to mask the sounds of the steps. That was a bit of a big brain play there from Flames as he finds the planter and makes time more of a factor. Avon opens up onto Psycho as well, and while they can't deny the plant this time, they've bought space for the 2-on-2. DemQ is so low, but these shots from DJ almost completely missing. The captain finds it in the end and leaves Toxic in a 1-on-1, but he holds it out. Crazy. They keep the lead going despite the best efforts on the retake from Tikitakan.
I absolutely love how Tikitakan played that retake, despite the fact that it didn't work out for them. The fact that instead of waiting out these smokes, it's so common to see CT side, they come in, there may be a man down, maybe it's even an even retake. They wait for those smokes and then they take those aim jewels. Instead, they just had plenty of flashes for the retake that they'd saved on A. They throw the flashes over the smokes and then they just push through them and try and contest it straight off the bat. This round, Flames can't find anything on Banana, though, as Sensei starts to pick it up. He's finding his footing in this game. He's connecting his AWP shots. Sphinx is able to trade one back, but that smoke has certainly not landed it where he wanted to. And, well, 4 versus 4 now. Crazy start to fall back, and, yeah, they've done sufficient damage on B. They've actually pulled a rotation as well, so there's currently 3 players sitting top Banana.
You could argue for Sphinx that his smoke actually landed in the perfect spot. It extinguished the Molotovs that looked to force him out, but now his team have been trampled on the A site, and Tikitakan tap out of this one. They don't want to Attempts another 3-on-4 retake in which they don't come off on top. It would be too expensive for them to consider, and they need these rifles in the next round. Sustain this momentum in the final map, then they might just find themselves in the playoffs.
I wonder if that smoke was deliberate then. I don't think it was. I think it very much looked like he was trying to throw it over the sandbags, but if that was deliberate, that was a big brain play. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I don't, maybe not intentional, but it doesn't have to be intentional for it to work out, right? And the flames don't end up spreading into him eventually, so it does just work out in the end. 7-2 lead, though. Crazy 5 ahead on Inferno at the moment. Tikitakan are winning 1 and losing 2, and that's not really a pattern you want to be in here. As we check out what the scoreboard is looking like, it's Spinks leading the way from the CT side, whereas it's Sergiz, Toxic, and Psycho all triple fragging around the same kills for the T's.
Not a lot to work with here, Tikitakan. They've forced a little bit around the rifles that were saved, but just a couple of pistols to accommodate them. A lot of early nade damage being dealt, though. Sergiz and Demq down to single digits. Flames is on the same. Toxic walking into a pretty deadly crossfire right now, but he actually manages to break it. The trade comes through. But very, very nice stuff early on from Tikitakan. Crazy start to aggress up towards Banana.
They've read it perfectly by the looks of things. They've rotated Aben over to help defend as Flames is on just the Deagle and 5 HP. Is it going to be enough still? I question the firepower on this CT side at the moment. They're going to try and contested in the 4-on-4, but there's really only 2 rifles to stand tall. Crazy, they don't have much time to work with, but they do still have enough to run over to this A site should they want to, and DJ has all the information that this is going to be a B hit at the moment. He can begin rotating, but he might not need to, as only 1 kill. The remainder of his team have completely fallen apart. He's in a 1-on-3 scenario at the moment, and it looks as though he might just get cleaned up by DJ here as well.
Easy pickings for DJ that round. Crazy. This is really the reserve cash right now. They've got enough to buy into this one. There certainly won't be an AWP available. You can't have everyone on the AKs as well, so we'll actually be seeing Sergiz and Psycho down to the Galils. As the Tikitakan timeout comes through, it's not the worst time for one, I suppose.
No, and it gives us an opportunity to talk again about Esports Millions. If you go and check out at the Esports Bible, their pinned tweet has a chance for you to win a Main Gear gaming PC, and all you have to do is retweet and participate in Esports Millions. With round 2 now live, Unicorn are offering every participant a chance to win a Main Gear Vibe Stage 3 PC, and the top 50 answers will share $5,000 worth of Unicorn bets. This is all just a lead up to the €1 million grand prize during Cups 3 and 4, in which anyone who answers 10 questions correctly will win the life-changing prize. No hoax, no scam. Get involved at ukrn.io/esports millions. Red Star on the AWP this time, which is rather interesting. I'm assuming this is just based on his spawn, unless Tikitakan are taking situational AWPers based on maps, which is certainly an interesting strategy to be trying to utilize.
It's definitely something you can do if all of your players are confident on it. I would prefer to see it in the hands of Aben, but if perhaps he's not doing too well with it, he's not particularly comfortable, or maybe he's just playing a position that he doesn't really want the AWP in. I mean, currently he's sitting in mini pit, so that might just be the case. I really like to see this dynamic AWP setup where you've got different players playing with it. For now, the spray transfer can't come through, and it's Crazy to come out on top with a man advantage. A lot of damage being dealt early on, and Red Star missing an easy shot. Means that he gets taken down from behind from Sergiz. It's Sphinx and Flames to try and clutch this one up in a 4-on-2. Definitely doable, but I think they're just going to grab that AWP and fall right back, to be honest. That's what they're going to do. Grab an AK, grab an AWP, run away from this one, bring them into the next round. It does allow Crazy to get onto 8, though. I like this Crazy that we're seeing. I was quite disappointed when we were on Mirage and they were just looking pretty terrible. I was looking at Inferno thinking Tikitakan should be able to take this one over the edge. Crazy and looking really sort of back against the wall right now. But no, they've come into this one really strong. They're keeping the rounds up, and it's not like they're just sort of like they take a 6-round lead and then they lose their second buy round and they throw it away and Tikitakan bring it back. It seems that, as you said earlier on, there's this pattern of this kind of 2-to-1. They win a couple of rounds, then they drop one, but then they bounce right back and they win a few more rounds off of it. And what that really means is that they're keeping their opponent's economy in check. They're not allowing them to have some kind of comeback and they rack up a load of money and build momentum off of it. Instead, it's just allowing them around, kind of resetting that loss bonus here and there. And it's very, very well done from Crazy so far in this Inferno game. Just got to make sure they keep it up if they want to try and close out this series.
This is how things are supposed to go for Crazy on Inferno. When things work well, this is why you've seen them pick the map into the series in the past. They can use these T sides to devastating effect, and the reason that's so effective is most sides will be prepping for their CT side of Inferno. That's where you're expected to do the majority of your work, and it's the easier side of the map. So if you can dominate the early stages of the T side and make sure you have the opening advantages heading into what should be the easier side of the map, then you're absolutely laughing, especially when you get double entries as they have in this round. And look now to a collapse into a B bomb site that only has one defender.
Oh, Flames trying to get aggressive there, gets caught out. That situation could really go either way. It just came down to who saw who first. The Sphinx, the lone man on this B site. The rotation's been called, but there's only 2 of them to fend off against 5. They need to go big here. Sphinx needs to deny this plant and find himself a couple of kills, and he's not good for anything. Red Star now with this off. I'm surprised he's even going for this one. He could just fall right back and save, and instead, he's going for this 1v4. He's got the first. He's being sandwiched in right now. There's no chance of him falling back here. He has to fight his way out of this circle, and he's unable to do anything. Very, very well played from Crazy as they put themselves onto 9. And this is really a convincing half from them right now. Worst case scenario, they have a 9-6 T half, which on Inferno is very good. If they can take any more than this, this will be fantastic for Crazy.
It really will. Every round a bonus at this point in time, as they look for a scoreline that is as dominant as humanly possible on this map. They got the 12-3, if my memory serves me correctly, as the first half over on Train. Fairly dominant there. And then now looking to try and replicate their performances here on Inferno. They'd really love that as well. They just have so many rounds to work with to prevent any kind of a comeback.
Well, the nade stack takes Sphinx out of the equation before he's even seen the light of day. Unable to do anything into this round. That's really unfortunate. That's really demoralizing as well. When you fully invest into a buy round, you just get taken out by a nade stack. Gives them that man advantage to work with as they start to poke holes in the A defenses. They've taken that brackets control, forced Tikitakan right back to the site, but despite the fact that they're forced back, they've got some nice crossfires set up. These smokes rain in, are actually going to break those crossfires, isolate these fights, and now they need to win the aim duels, but Red Star gets to spam through the smoke onto Psycho. They need to convert more of these as we're in a 4v4 and the execute's about to come through.
There's an engagement about to go in CT spawn as well, and Red Star's won it. Aben from Pick doesn't even need any more kills. DJ can do the work, and he's left toxic in a 1 versus 2 scenario. Bomb dropped in the site and only 20 seconds to work with. He has to fall away with his AK and work with his team in the next round. Crazy won't get 10 just yet, but they have 2 more chances to secure double digits now in this first half on the T side of Inferno, and then have the opportunity to sprint forward. But as we close out this first half, Tikitakan, they can't afford to be losing rounds.
They really can't. They need to make sure that they can string these next couple together because they need absolutely everything they can get. Look at these grenades. Perfect gobies to explode just on top of Sphinx's head. The investment here from Tikitakan, it's actually not too bad. I didn't see the AWP on DJ. Just Sphinx down to the MP9, everyone else on the M4s. Limited utility on Flames, but that shouldn't be too problematic. They face up against a similar caliber of buy. No AWP available for Crazy. I think they probably could have had one on Toxic if they wanted to. I actually don't know why Toxic's down to the Galil here. I have no idea why Toxic's down to the Galil. He's got 2,500 in the bank behind him. That's a really bizarre one.
I think it's because he saved it forward from the last round. That's my only guess. He was the only player from Crazy who did stay alive, so I'd have to presume he brought the less effective rifle forward from that last round. As Tikitakan, they've got 3 players in the A site again. It's more default this time, and last time it worked really well, but they're really swapping around AWPing duties at the minute. They gave it to Red Star, but he didn't seem too confident, so now the captain DJ has it in his hands. Can be a bit of a risk giving an AWP to your IGL, as they tend to be a less focused player as they're trying to communicate and direct their team, especially on the CT side, but he just has to hold channels of attack and wait for these executions. Backs away through the smoke instead, tries to buy more time, but hasn't called any rotations yet. As 30 seconds remain on the clock, Crazy are running out of time again.
They really are. 25 seconds now for them to work with. Red Star could be the key player to shut this down. He does get taken out, but Aben steps up to the plate. Can't do anything either. It's DJ through the smoke to do the work. The bomb will still be able to go down, but he's brought it into a 3-on-3. Both of his teammates now close to support him as the flashes go over. Not going to affect Sergens at all, though, as he finds the first on Flames. His teammates chiming in, but as Sphinx trades it, DJ finds one of his own. It's a 2-on-1 for Sensei to clutch up. He's absolutely capable of it, and as he's fallen right back, he's now in a very favourable position to pull this one off. Just jiggle peeking the bomb. It's actually being held by Sphinx, so he has to swing, and he does so. Crazy put themselves onto 10 off the back of a big clutch from Sensei. Unfortunately, can't get to the AWP in time, but it's the last round of the half, and they have got the money to buy one if they want it. So let's see if they go for that investment.
Tikitakan have had their cash broken, conversely. They've got to get FAMASs out, maybe some pistols to support it. It's a really rough buy on the CT side heading into the last of the half, and a really great opportunity for Crazy to finish this T side off 11-4 in the lead of the final map of our series. They still have a Galil in the hands of Psycho. They couldn't afford to get him up onto an AK, unfortunately, but it's that CT side who have the much lesser firepower. 3 Deagles supporting 2 FAMASs to deny an 11th round of the first half to your opponents.
For Crazy's sake, I really hope that they can close this one out. They've had such a strong T side. They've been looking really, really good on Inferno, but as we've seen in the past, they sometimes just have struggle. They sometimes struggle closing out these matches when they take an early lead like this. As they sit 10-4, they should be able to make it 11-4 as they just face against FAMASs and pistols. Tikitakan fighting for their lives right now. They need to convert these rounds, and the spot comes in from Flames, but as his teammate falls, he's spamming away with his Deagle. M2 should be good for 2, and this is just about said and done for Tikitakan. A fantastic round from Crazy, and they should be able to put themselves 11-4 now.
Deagle from Red Star. Oh, dearie me. That was the only chance, I think, for Tikitakan to deny there. If he had gone mental, maybe, found 2 lucky headshots, 3 probably is what he would have to have done to give Flames a chance. And despite the skill this young player has shown us so far, he's not able to get it done in this round. 11-4 up are Crazy on the T side of Inferno, heading over to that CT side. They need just 5 rounds on the board to advance to the playoffs of 9-5-2 and make Tikitakan stare down elimination. It's all to play for in the final map as we see the sides swap now. Tikitakan need to show us something special in this pistol and the rounds following if they want to mount a comeback. Otherwise, they will be facing early elimination from the tournament. The head-to-head there between the 2 captains. It's DJ who has the better statistics overall, but this is what I was mentioning on this map. If Psycho's turning up and fragging as he is, it's a really dangerous prospect for Crazy to utilize.
Really interesting stat there. Max played in the last 3 months, 100, which means that that should be consistent for the whole crazy roster. That's absolutely nuts. They have been busy bees over the last, well, over this quarter. This was a really important round for Tikitakan to win if they want to try and pull Lime ahead, if they actually want to pull this one off. But absolutely needed was this pistol round, so they've managed to pull that one off. Crazy are going to go for this save. Sergey's being buffed up on that CZ and the armor, didn't really do a whole lot. He wasn't able to see any of the action. So 11-5 we go.
Risking this CZ, yeah, that is not worth it at all in my opinion. Just to find 1 kill in a pistol round, you're going to throw the CZ and armor away into a round your team are going to have nothing to work with. A bit of a mistake there, and I don't know why you'd even look for that aggression. Either way, Tikitakan have the pistol, and they have a no-risk mindset whatsoever. 4 AKs, no, a Galil brought forward into round number 2 off the back of that bomb plant, and Crazy, they ain't taking any risks either. They are not forcing up. They'll preserve their own economy and look for a buy in the next round. And on the CT side, that's going to mean they're lacking a little bit of utility.
Buliko now for Crazy. Gives Tikitakan an opportunity to well, it would give them an opportunity to try and rack up some cash, but they've actually gone for a full rifle buy. This is quite a bizarre one. I like it in a way because it means that if they don't take any casualties, just anything really, they can just keep what they have. And just buy a little bit more utility going into the buy round. But it is a dangerous game to be playing. They could have the SMGs right now and rack up some cash. Instead, they all sit on the rifles and limit themselves to just a few flashbangs and excite, though it's definitely the right call. It's only Psycho with the USP to try and hold it up. He does peek out, gets the info. But yeah, there's nothing he can really do here. Tikitakan will walk up to 6.
The USPs just should hunt for exits, really. If they can even force reinvestment with a couple of dinks, this round has been so heavily bought into that it really would be worth it, even if these pistoling players died and achieved nothing in the round. All they'd have done is given Tikitakan $1,500 worth of cash. So, I mean, I personally really hate to see teams eco with out any staying alive for the sake of it at that point in time. I personally see very little point in it, as they can do so much more damage just by finding 1 kill.
This USP is not really causing them any problems. They actually don't take any casualties as well. DJ makes sure that he's far enough away that the bomb doesn't affect him. And exactly as I said, they've pulled it off. They keep all 5 players alive. They can now come into the buy round, and they don't have to reinvest anything. They can buy a little bit of utility, and actually right now, they're us in this scenario. So that play actually worked out really well for them.
And now, it's the 5-on-5 scenario with the guns out. But we mentioned Crazy might be lacking a bit of utility. They've actually dropped down onto a FAMAS and an MP9 just so that they can make sure they do have the grenades to work with. They're aware just how important they are, and Sensei, that's an important frag to earn at the start of the round. Opening kill in Crazy like that. They get an opening kill over Raid, then they double nade Wood down Banana and see if they can find a kill there. There's no one sat there that time, but it just shows you that Crazy...
That early man advantage. Crazy lined themselves up well to take this one, especially with Devin's current positioning and the flash being perfect, but somehow he can't capitalize on it. Sphinx goes huge and finds himself 3. As they take out Psycho, this is actually looking like they're round for the taking. This was Crazy's round here. That flash came over. They swing out. Demku swings. He comes out on top. Sergey is actually just taking this AK, falling right back, allowing Tikitakan to win this buy round and take it 11-7 for even again.
Risk Tikitakan side streak on the board. They'd be in this round will be all but confirmed as the 8th for the T side, and Crazy at this point in time hunting forward. They're going to need to look for their round in the next.
And you can't seem to string together. Level this out to an 11-11 scoreline. They have to win this next buy round. They have to maintain this gap. And they have to close it out now. If it goes close again, I think they'll crumble under the pressure.
I think so as well. It's occurred multiple times over the... They're at risk also. Of floundering here now on Inferno. They've over-rotated too many players over to B. They have fallen for the fate on that A site, and if Crazy want to consider a retake attempt, I wouldn't necessarily... be averse to it. I just don't think it's very likely to be successful.
I think he should probably try and hold on to this, and well, as he takes out Deja, he's being hunted right now, but they know that he's got it, they want to take it off of him. It won't play a huge factor going into the... He'll still just buy up an M4, but I think that AK just gives him that one-hit hedging. A lot of players on it. Sergey seems to be holding up well here. Gets himself another 3 men from Tikitakan going down just so that they can try and take away that AK. I don't think that was really worth it at all.
No, I'm inclined to agree with you with that statement. I don't think it was worth whatsoever there, but the past is the past, and now Crazy calling through a timeout before this gun round is a €20 deposit and bet on yourselves in CSGO pubs, bet on pro teams, all get fresh esports matches 24/7 even when events are offline. Unicorn won esports bookmaker of the year in 2019, and you can find out why today. With your 300% first deposit bonus using code RELOG, R-E-L-O-G. That's RELOG, R-E-L-O-G. This is the round for Crazy that they really need to win here. They lose this, it's 9-11 Tikitakan, potentially then getting the 10-11 scoreline with the Crazy eco, and it's just too close for comfort there. If they want to round, must be won by the Ukrainians.
No AWP available on Tikitakan. In fact, there is an AWP available. They have plenty of money to pull out. I'd like to see Aben just pulling it out more. He was really, really good with it on Mirage. He seems to just be opting for these rifles, and I'm not going to fault it. They seem to be doing well on their T side just with these rifles. Do not change it if it isn't broken. But right now, Crazy, looking like they're trying to change up what they're playing a little bit. Got 2 players aggressive over towards brackets this round. They have all the info they need. Keep smoke on banana as well. Minute down on the clock. A lot of time has been killed, and Tikitakan haven't really made any advancements. Very little control for them to work with, and they haven't found an opening pick either. It's looking like they are going to head over towards B, but they'll have 2 players patiently waiting for them. A pretty nice setup as well.
It's a late round execution, and these rotates are likely to come through from mid as opposed to CT from at least parts of the Crazy side, as they are actively positioned to go through. And instead, it is CT on the first rotation. Flames found the first kill, though. Psycho gets one back, but can't get any more as Red Star, he's found DJ a flash assist, and Psycho is the man who falls in the site as a result of it. Might even be the save call, as their banks are empty. They'll give Tikitakan the 9th, and they'll try and fight again for another round and a round 12 in the next one.
That's unfortunate, but that is 100% the right call to go for there. They either need to find one more kill on the entry, which brings it into a 3-on-3, and then they've got a chance at this, because they have plenty of utility for this retake. Or they need to deny that plant, which the spam actually came incredibly close, but just couldn't quite do it. With neither of those things falling into place, they have to go for the save call, bring those weapons into the next. They will have the money to drop the 2 remaining teammates, so they will actually have a full buy going into the next round. But in the meantime, Tikitakan, they're closing this gap, they're building up a bank of their own. And you've only got to look at Sphinx's money right now and see that he's sitting above 10k. To realize that they have got plenty of money to contest these next few rounds at least.
Comeback potential certainly available for the Tikitakan side. That is what you have to bring away from that cash perspective. 5 AK-47s and still cash in the bank to work with. Crazy, meanwhile, they had 3 players saved, but some of those have had to drop, and DJ has found Sensei early. That is a nightmarish frag to lose. The only AWP of the CT side taken out as the first kill, and Tikitakan, they want to advance into apartments off the back of it. They suspect there could be another aggressive player committed, and they're just going to run straight past him into the site. DemQ completely blind and tagged up. He'll find 1 kill, but no more, as Flames has taken him down. DJ has found the 2nd kill elsewhere onto Toxic, and now Sergiz and Psycho, they can't even attempt it. They have to save these M4s, and there won't be as healthy a buy surrounding them up in the next. Tikitakan, in the round following this one, have an opportunity to tie things back up at 11-11.
They really do. Crazy can't just keep going for these save calls. Of course, again, this round is the smart thing to do, so you certainly can't fault it. But they need to start converting some of these rounds. As soon as you get into this cycle of just, oh, we've lost the bomb site, we're just going to save, it just starts running away from you. They will have the money to buy into this next one. Of course, they'll be able to drop a double. Actually, they've got such a loss bonus as well. They'll be able to buy him regardless, despite the fact that one of those players did actually fall right at the end there. But Tikitakan, they've built up a huge bank. They're really setting themselves up well to level things out. As we go into round number 22, I'd argue that Tikitakan have even got enough money to tide them over, as long as Crazy continue to lose rounds like they are. Bear in mind, they haven't taken a single round on their CT side so far. I think you're absolutely right about what you were saying earlier. Their CT sides are just clearly very, very weak. They need a lot of work because they just can't convert any rounds on them.
Train being the exception to that rule, but I mean, for sure on Mirage, on Vertigo, and it looks like here on Inferno as well, they really do need to work on the defensive side of the map. Now, I think for 2 days in a row, they've been against sides who put a lot of work into their T-halves of the map, which some could call unlucky, but I would just argue that's a task you're going to have to face up against at some point in your career as a professional Counter-Strike player. So you need to be able to deal with players and teams that are strong over on the T side, as Tikitakan this time, They've slowed it down, and that's going to cause Sensei to aggress in Banana here. Spinks might punish him at close corner and thinks about re-aggressing Sensei, just getting away with his life, but it might cause Tikitakan to execute into B, and if they can just wait before deploying grenades, they might have caused the rotation to leave.
Sensei on this angle lands a very quick shot. Gives them that man advantage. This is exactly what they need right now. It's the first time they've had it in quite a while. They need to convert the rest, though. Flames comes out on top with the trade. 4 versus 4 now, but he's sitting on 14 HP. The bomb will be able to go down. Crazy, not spamming away to deny it. Instead, want to go for this retake. Still a 4-on-4. Tikitakan have 3 players. Idea where their opponents are, and as the clock's winding down, they need to speed this up.
Demq looking to swing round, but Flames gets him first. Psycho the next to open up, but Red Star and Aben are the 2 next, and Toxic left alone with a farmhouse. The bomb is already too far gone. I believe he has no chance now but to hunt for the kills. And Red Star, he knows he's out of this round either way, but he's done his job. He actually stays alive in the corner on 100 HP. And 11 all. It's all tied up on the scoreboard. Tikitakan, look at that round streak they've put together. You're looking after number 15, of course, but every single round in the second half, they've opened all the way into, and the 11-4 lead that Crazy earned at the start of this map means absolutely nothing at this point.
7 straight rounds on their T half, 9 in total. This is just fantastic. This is really what we saw on Mirage as well, but not quite to this extent, because they just had really solid halves both sides. But especially towards the end, where they just ran away with it, Crazy were just unable to do anything when they switched up onto their CT side. And well, this is just really a repeat of that. Crazy in these scenarios, really struggling. Even in that last round, whilst you could argue that it came close because it came down to a 1 versus 1, it just wasn't. They let the clock run down far too low. By the time they'd then come in and actually found the kills, they literally had no time on the bomb. Even if they would have found that final frag, there's no time to defuse. It's just not going well for them at all here.
Scores on the doors. It is Spinks for Tikitakan. It feels like we've been saying his name a lot on Inferno, leading the way at nearly 20 kills. DJ in second place as the in-game leader. Both IGLs doing a good job here on Inferno, and perhaps that leans into the way they're playing their T sides. You often see IGLs, they'll be trying to go in first as the entry, hunting for that information, because they know that the first player entry into a site has the hardest chance of finding a kill anyway, so the refrag is much more likely to occur. That's the first benefit, and the second is, of course, they can see the information they're looking for firsthand. They can judge the executions and then deploy their team accordingly after they fall down. And on Inferno, these entries on the T side at least working out for both DJ and Psycho at the moment, although it felt like they did the majority of their heavy lifting on those CT halves, either player.
As these engagements come in very early. A 1-for-1 trade for now, but just with the pistols on Crazy. They seem to be keeping the numbers fairly consistent. Not anymore. Tikitakan have come out on top. They've completely mowed down the remaining players. Despite the B stack, they're unable to do anything. I think perhaps if they had nades to work with their Crazy, they could have made something work, but instead they just get completely shut down. The bank on Tikitakan now, still fully intact. Almost every player above 10k. They'll be able to buy up for potentially the rest of this game right now. This is very dangerous. They finally pull ahead. Again, I think they're pulling ahead for either the first time this game, or at least the first time in sort of 15 or so rounds. This has been a huge comeback from them, and if they can convert this buy round, that really seals the deal.
Tikitaka, and you're right in that they're coming into the lead for the first time in this map. They weren't able to win 2 rounds consecutively in the first half, and they've won much more than that in a row on the second. Sensei tries to hide around the corner, but they've taken him out, and there's so much pressure on Toxic. He at least finds that kill, which buys space and time, but Red Star puts him down with a bullet to the back of the brain. And Demq and Psycho now with a smoke and Molotov only to work with. Smoked off from the site as well. They would need to pull off a 2v3 retake to tie the scoreline up and prevent their team from dropping onto the eco in the next round. It looks so unlikely, but they're still trying to contest, dropping the smokes aggressively as Red Star's only on 2 HP. Spinks has taken down Demq, and the captain for Crazy needs to fall back onto B. They'll be looking at a broken bank in the next round, and Tikitakan, with the momentum in their favor, still yet to drop a T-side round.
You can see the shake of frustration from Psycho there. He knows this is slipping away from them. This was their round for the... This was their game for the taking. This was their series for the taking. And the IGL on that CT side might just be getting frustrated that nothing's working. Still yet to convert a round on their CT side. And the timeout comes in. I think this is a really good time for one, but something magical needs to be said here to turn the tides.
They're having a conversation about their economy. That's what's occurring at the moment, because Psycho can drop a rifle and buy one. Toxic, or Demq, rather, had the most money before he invested into that SMG. He can still drop if he wants to, if they wanted to contest the full buy this is, but they really don't. They'd rather keep their cash above $2,500 in every case that they can, by the looks of things. And that should mean that this is an easier round for Tikitakan to look into. They don't even have to face the full rifles. They've won so many rounds in a row, 9 consecutively in this half, as they look to convert it 10 in a row. That would be mental, especially on the last map of a Decider series.
Something happened at halftime where they said, you know what, we need to come back into this. We need to take this series. This is elimination day and we don't want to be going home just yet. But Toxic gets super aggressive in the apartments, finds that lurking player and retrieves himself an AK for his troubles. Huge amount of info gained as well means that they can actually rotate a player towards B. So they've got 3 men here to hold this up. The issue is the firepower isn't quite there. An M4 and 2 Deagles to try and hold up this B site as Tikitakan ready to swarm with rifles.
Now the smokes dissipate, they're happy to push. Sergis has missed the opening shot, but that Molotov is going to buy space and time for the CT side, as they still aren't rotating their A players until the very last moment. They keep them locked in that A bomb site because Tikitakan refused to pull the trigger on this execution until they found a kill. Now with more space to work with, the flash is perfect from Sensei. Spinks falling down with 3 AKs left up. Could this be the streak broken? Aben, he's found a way into the B bomb site. Demq's opened up onto Flames, and this plant has to come through at some point in time. Aben with a very important kill, and perhaps the bomb recovered as DJ on just 48 HP is in trouble himself. That AK from Toxic has taken out Aben, and he has to plant here. The bomb's been dropped. If he can get to Coffins, it would be the safe plant, but he can't get there. Toxic does break the streak in the end. Triple kill to give Crazy 12.
DJ takes it very close, makes it a very expensive round for Crazy as well. However, they're still 1 ahead. They've still got plenty of money in the bank behind them to continue to buy as well. This has to be a turning point for Crazy. This has to be a time where they recognize that actually they've beaten Tikitakan. They've worked out how to stop them, and they managed to do so with just a limited buy as well. So now they've got the full guns. They need to do the same, and they need to try and close this one out. Tikitakan bounce right back here. This could be dire for Crazy. They won't have the money to fully invest, and they'll be 1 away from match point.
A desperate round for Crazy to break the streak, and perhaps I fear for Tikitakan now, because after that timeout, it's the famous slowdown, I feel. Unfortunately for Crazy, they've gamble stacked the wrong site. They will look to rotate 1 player over, but utility falls in A, and the objective here might just be to sell a fake. Instead, Aben's rotating over to the A bomb site. They're definitely considering a switch over at the last moment, and it's going to depend on entirely how Tikitakan are feeling. They're not willing to aggress for extra information, so they just have to go off their guts here. They've sold the focus best they can over on that A bomb site, and as the second smoke now plumes on B, they prepare for their eventual execution.
And smoke ready to be deployed there. They're all stacked up, waiting to push through. The flash comes over, not going to affect anyone though. A Psycho swings out and takes care of Flames. Sphinx in the process though, gets Zergiz, they actually find the second as well. Psycho's now gone, it's DJ to take care of him. The man advantage and the sight now gained for Tikitakan, but not sure about that peek from Sphinx. Gets punished by Sensei for doing so. 3 versus 3 retake for Crazy now. Make it a 3-on-2 as Toxic finds one. This is very doable. If Crazy can level things up 13-13, this would be pretty huge. But Tikitakan still in an advantageous position right now, especially with that kill coming through.
Sensei hits the wallbang though. They just needed to confirm there was a player. That Molotov may have just won the round from Red Star. If he can keep baiting out for time, it might be worth it. But Toxic, he might just have it through the Flames. He might be able to hold on. Time ticking down, but the tied scoreline secured by Crazy. They waited until the very last moment to break the streak of Tikitakan, and now they've opened up with 2 in a row. It would be horrible to see the T side fall apart now, but they still have guns to get stuff done.
Had that Molotov been thrown potentially a second later, that would have swayed the way of Tikitakan. It's really, really unfortunate to see rounds coming this close, but it means that Crazy are back in the game. We're sitting at 13-13. Not only have they broken their opponent's round win streak, but they've actually managed to string 2 in a row together. Tikitakan, still plenty of money behind them to buy up, and I mean, they'll have another buy at least behind this as well. Still not opting for that AWP though, which I find interesting. All 5 players sticking with those rifles. Just playing this slow default that we've been seeing from them for the majority of this half.
Zergiz is eating utility damage, but he's not willing to give up his aggressive stance in Banana just yet. And I'm not quite sure how effective that could be. This could be huge for Crazy to utilize, but it's only going to work out for the 1 kill as Zergiz does fall. I suppose that's more impact than he may have otherwise gotten on such low HP. The rest of Tikitakan are looking into the A site though, and that would be a mistake at this point in time. 3 Crazy players stacked in. If they can creep through Arch and wrap around into the B bomb site, that's certainly what they'll be looking to do.
Especially as Toxic's actually starting to question it and wrap around himself. It'll be far too late. They will have cleared out the whole brackets area and they will know it to be here. So the rotations will start to come through. But this is not a good position for Psycho to be in. He's got opponents coming in from both sides. Red Star's cut off the flank. Psycho knows exactly where DJ is and he will be able to find him. We'll know Red Star's here as well. He needs to convert both frags, but as Red Star trades it, the man advantage for Tikitakan. Not much time on the clock. It comes down to a 1 versus 1 again. These rounds are to the wire and Flames has to stick the bomb. Sensei knows it and he swings out, taps away with the USP, but Flames readjusts his crosshair and hits the headshot when needed. Tikitakan put themselves onto 14 and call the timeout to cool off after that clutch.
Oh, I reckon Sensei might have just put his fist straight through his monitor. That's such a frustrating round to lose. Just can't hit the headshots onto Flames there. Little does he know if Flames is committing to the plant. He could have just used the AWP at long range, but how the hell is Sensei supposed to know that? He just has to get aggressive at close range. If it's any other player, if it's any other weapon, a rifle even, it would be enough perhaps, but Tikitakan, they get 14 first, and they cripple Crazy's economy. Zergiz is going to be onto an auto shotgun, so anticipate unorthodox positioning, aggressive either in the apartments or up Banana with that heavy weapon. Tikitakan, this is really their chance now to close out the series. Crazy have ripped everything out of their house here. They're pulling every bit of furnishing off the wall, under the kitchen sink, whatever they can scrape down from the back of their couches. They're trying to bring into this round to fight back and avoid elimination. They win it. They could tie it back up at 14-14, but you made the point a while ago at this point. Tikitakan have been pretty much economically set for the entire half. When you string together 9 rounds in a row, it just builds your bank more than anything else in the world.
Well, we did see Gamer Legion fumble against the Pistol Force buy earlier on when they were in this position. But Crazy right now, they are in a dire situation. They've had to buy up 2 FAMASs, an auto shotgun and an MP9. to contest their opponents going on to match point, and that's an all-out investment, yeah? If they lose this round, they actually just don't have any money to work with, and we'll be seeing similar in the next round. So they have to convert this, and right now the entries come through. Toxic actually comes out on top, but as Flames gets a refrag, the 4-on-4 situation gets the second as well. Trade's coming through pretty evenly right now, but as Flames finds his third of the round, he's single-handedly making this work for Tikitakan. And Psycho and CR4ZY, this is a must-win retake. Flames is low, but CR4ZY may not be expecting Avon to be here. He does convert it, and now a 2-on-2.
The shotgun does the work. But now it is that 2 versus 2 scenario. And CR4ZY are running out of time. They have to advance. Flames is playing a risky game on contact, but he's won the engagement. So has Red Star from Pit. CR4ZY works so hard to try and find a way in, but it's a quad kill from the young Israeli player. Puts himself on 22 in total and puts his team on map point. 2 chances to close it out now in regulation. And what can CR4ZY afford to fight with here to deny elimination?
Well, the timeout comes through again. I do need to question why Tikitakan have called this timeout. Maybe they're going to change up the pace in this round, do something different, try and catch CR4ZY off guard. To be honest, what they've been doing so far has been working. It's come very close in the last couple of rounds, so it's not the worst time to change something up. They do really want to close this one out. I think going to overtime here would really be a rough scenario for Tikitakan to end up in. I mean, look at these kills coming out. Sphinx and Flames going absolutely huge. 24-16 and 22-16 right now. And this is their best chance of closing this out. They're against the FAMASs. Pistol, an auto shotgun, an MP9. This is a rough buy from CR4ZY. They're going to have to pull out all the stops to make this work.
I know exactly why Tikitakan timed out there. It's to make CR4ZY sweat. Make them stew over the situation they've gotten themselves in against a side they could not have predicted would put up this much of a fight. CR4ZY's at close range. That's the beautiful engagement, one he was desperate for with his shotgun, and it works out in his favor. But Tikitakan are continuing their advancement towards that B site, and he's able to get a second kill. It's so important, but now he's alone on the site. He drops a Molotov instead of a smoke as he gets naded instead of smoked off himself. It's really rough, but Deja in the apartments now. He's at risk for the Tikitakan side. He's got to make the plays over on A, and they're going to fake all the utility towards the B bomb site, but smash into the A site, and it's all on this 2-man crossfire.
If they can break this boost setup, then they will come out on top, but it's looking like the FAMAS prevails. Toxic trades it out as well, and Deja left in a 1-on-3. Bomb out in the open, needs to be quick, otherwise they will secure it, and Sensei with the MP9 comes in from the back lines. CR4ZY put themselves onto 14, and Tikitakan, well, it was handed to them on a silver platter. All they had to do was beat the mishmash buy of CR4ZY. And instead, they let it slip away, and now it's 15-14. They have to convert this, or we're going to overtime. But the issue is CR4ZY have now got the full rifles to work with.
The issue in that last round for Tikitakan, they lose the opening kill to CR4ZY, who's close range with the shotgun. Now, you do normally send one player up to hide behind the wall, or at least push in first. So I'm not necessarily irritated that he's isolated, but when they send someone into trade frag for him, they just send one player to peek out into that angle. No double peek, nothing like that. They send one man isolated who can be easily traded by CR4ZY's AK, and that means that no matter what they attempt, he ends up keeping the man advantage in CR4ZY's favor there. If they'd moved together, hit B with 2 or 3 players strafed out, even if they lost another 2 on that initial gunfight, they clear the B bomb site and have the opportunity to plant. But instead, they shrink back into their shells, second guess themselves by hitting A, and just get wrecked by the boost.
Oh, Demq finding that early frag as well. CR4ZY have a pretty high win percentage when it comes to finding that first kill. In fact, I think it's around 75%, so a good chance of taking this one as long as it's not traded. And actually Sensei, taking a fair amount of damage himself, does fall back off of it. They give up a lot of control though. Now the B players have to start watching their backs. They're wary of Banana. They have to be wary of CT. Instead, Tikitakan are actually going to try and end up on A. They've got no one in Banana to go for this pincer play. This is not great for Tikitakan, especially with that second kill coming through from DemQ. They've got control, but it's not really in the right places, and they're unable to break these defenses of Crazy right now. It's looking like we're going to be going to overtime, to be honest.
Spinks has gotten one kill back, but I agree with you. They look tactically lost. They were thinking about going B, then they second-guessed A, back B, back A. Where do they hit? A is the answer, and Toxic's the man going big with the kills. It would need Spinks, the top fragger for his team, to get a triple kill here, and he's found the first. 1 on 4 as he looks to drop an advanced smoke and buy himself some space to pick up the bomb at very least. But as soon as he commits to that plant, he's at risk of being spammed down through that smoke. He's trying to force aggression, but he doesn't have time. He knows, or his opponents know, that this second attempt is much more likely to be the real commitment. They've put the Molotov in the wrong place, but they haven't heard any ticks. They know he can't be in it. He's found the first kill now as Psycho looks to push the same angle, but Spinks can't hold on. Crazy. It's, of course, the captain fragging hard on Inferno. He wins the 1v1 and takes his side to overtime.
Psycho's heart must be absolutely racing right now in that kind of situation where you have to convert the kill. Steps up to the plate, keeps his composure and pulls it off. Crazy. They really should have closed this one out a lot earlier on, but they allow their opponents to pull it all the way back, and then, well, they do the best they really can do. They pull back those final two, take it to overtime, and stay afloat for now.
You could tell in that last round, Tikitakan had no idea what they wanted to do. They took arch control, and then they were gripped by indecisiveness. They were like taking 3 steps into the arch tunnel, then taking 3 steps out, 3 steps back in, shaking it all about, throwing the bomb away and dropping it on the floor, not even giving it to other players. They literally were just stunned that they'd been able to earn that map control and had no idea what the hell they wanted to do with it. And that was not the opportunity to have the leadership be second-guessing itself. It really broke down in that second half for Tikitakan. An amazing start where they looked so confident and were winning every fight. But as this half progressed and as Crazy started winning rounds, the leadership seemed to evaporate, and it was almost like they were just saying, oh, let's try this, or oh, we'll give it a go over B, maybe it'll work out. Really wasn't decisive enough for my money.
That ended up being their demise. It was bizarre as well because they've been so good. They've been so consistent. I think they took, what, 10 rounds in a row? They were fantastic. And then right at the end there, they just threw it away. Commitment, and it was just the wrong call.
So fired up on the retake. Like, there's a level of demoralization that you're going to receive after losing to an 11-4 half at the end of the first stages here at Inferno. There's a degree to which you're going to be upset with your performance and demotivated a little bit heading forward to perform in the second half. Now, when you come back into a map, it swings the opposite way, and you're never more motivated to play than in your entire lives. You string 10 rounds together, you've nearly pulled off the impossible. Your team are amazing. We're smashing through Crazy. This is fantastic news. I can't believe we've done it. That's what they'd be thinking, but they hadn't gotten it done. They couldn't take it all the way, and they put all the hard effort into the comeback just to let it slip through their fingers as they slow down towards the end of that first half. I don't know why on earth sides seem to do this on the T side. It happens time and time again for my money, but they start strong, dominating everything. A timeout gets called against them, and they go, oh, maybe we should play this slowly, actually, and try and work off of our advantages. And then they just throw the half away.
Well, I'm glad to see Crazy not choke right at the end there. Something that we have seen from them previously. They've managed to take it to overtime, and for their sake, let's hope that they keep this up, take the next couple of rounds and actually try and convert this one. The issue is they start the overtime on their CT side, which is clearly has been significantly weaker on Inferno. They need to try and make sure that they get at least one CT round. If they could get 2 CT rounds, it'd be pretty big, because going on to the T side, they had a really, really strong T half. They went 11-4, I think, at the end of it. So they'd be setting themselves up really, really well to take the overtime. But in order to set themselves up for that, they have to take at least one in this first half of OT. And CR4ZY with the aggression on Banana, something we haven't really seen from them at all in the CT half early on. Pays off for him very, very well.
Crazy starting off overtime well. Their CT side always... I don't know whether it just sucks, Crazy CT side, or whether they need like 11 rounds to get going on it. Because yesterday on Mirage, when they bailed out of their CT side against Level Up, it was when overtime came around that they actually started to win CT rounds at that point in time. They've won the double entry, or at least secured the double entry early on before CR4ZY was taken down. Psycho with just 1 HP still standing, and that's the difference between 4 players and 3.
Yeah, I'm not really sure why CR4ZY was still playing that so aggressive. They had a 2-man advantage, and with him falling, it's an effective 3v3 right now. Psycho is on 1 HP, might be able to get himself one unsuspecting player. I have no idea why no one checks that boost. When CT's smoked, there's almost always someone boosted up, and well, it costs them the round. Tikitakan full 1 by 1, 3 players staying alive for Crazy right now. They can fully invest it. In fact, was that 4 players staying? No, okay, they bought up an AWP. They bought up an AWP, it's fine. But they've done what was needed. They've taken that CT round, and I think off of the back of that, they could probably pull off another.
Oh, it's definitely not a prospect I'd be surprised that. We could be looking at a 19-15, 19-16 overtime at this point in time. I really wouldn't doubt it. Ivan's finally got an AWP in his hand for the first time since when? When have we seen the star AWPer of Mirage be AWPing here on Inferno? Virtually never. That reeks of desperation for my money as he creeps forward with the sniper rifle and is trying to hunt for these close-range kills.
He's really not in the best place for it. He has... Well, no, he doesn't have any support from his teammates. The smoke's up, so if he gets killed here, there isn't really much trade potential, but as the flashes come through, they do come on top with the duels. Toxic can't find himself anything, as Aben with the AWP finds himself the 2 entries needed. I don't know why they didn't put him on the AWP earlier on. He is a fantastic player with that weapon in his hands, and he's really proved that this round. Tikitakan level it up 16-16. Well, CR4ZY might be able to save this AK. They are hunting for him, but he's in a pretty good position here.
When you have 16k overtimes in the bank, there's no reason not to go hunting, although there's no reason really to go hunting either. Like, this team's going to have so much money with the last round of the half done. They just want to end the round earlier, I guess. Really perplexing. I rarely ever see players save in overtime, but...
Doing anything with it as of yet. The bomb actually dropped in second mid for now, so... Still pretty slow play from Tikitakan, despite the fact they're using a lot of utility early on to gain this control. CR4ZY aren't really responding to it. They're just playing really, really deep on that B site. Pretty much doing the same on A as well. No longer contesting this bracket control. They're allowing Tikitakan to get up. They're hoping that they can catch some kind of lurker and be set up for the execute in the late round situation. They just have to be wary of Deja here, because if he can actually creep up and get in the back lines of B, and then they go for a B execute, this could be massive, even if he just cuts off the rotations.
You're absolutely... Oh, Sensei, that's the opening kill found, and now they need to explode out onto the Tikitakan. CR4ZY has just been decimated. That bomb will go down now for the T side, as Spinks holding against this retake. Demq the first player to fall. Toxic and Sensei remain, but both aggress from Banana, meaning that they'll have multiple phases to try and go through if they want to get into this bomb site. Sensei isolated and alone is very unlikely to be able to secure this round. He actually finds Red Star there completely blind, so fair play to him. However, Spinks takes him down.
I wasn't really expecting it after CR4ZY took a really convincing first overtime round. I wasn't expecting Tikitakan to come out on top there 17-16, but they managed to do so. And it means that only 2 CT rounds are needed from them to close this one out. 1 needed to secure the double OT. These teams right now are just pretty inseparable. It's not been massively back and forth throughout the series. As we say, when you look at the maps earlier on, it went 16-8 in the favor of Crazy, 16-8 in the favor of Tikitakan. This game then went massively in the favor of Crazy. Then a huge comeback came in from Tikitakan. And, well, since we've been at around about the 12-12 mark, then it's been going back and forth. Both teams really, really want to come away with this one.
Triple ops. Look at this. 3 snipers, but D just still is going to get wrecked by the spam from DemQ. Nightmarish start for Tikitakan's CT side, as with the clean sweep, Crazy would claim victory of this map in single OT. And remember, their T side was a long time ago, but it was still dominant. Now, what might perhaps make you worried at first is that when Crazy were on the T side, they were winning 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. And if that were to happen now, we would be in overtime too. But if they were to secure then the second 2 rounds on their T side heading forward, they would be loving it if they had the opportunity to advance forward and close it out in single OT.
The Sensei finds another, a 2-man advantage now for Crazy to come back into this one, as they head over towards an empty B site, but they don't realize it for now, and that's going to bide some time for Flames to rotate over. Have to respect these remaining 3 players. Of course, they've got a huge advantage, but it can all slip away so easily, especially with Flames pushing through that smoke. In fact, though, it's Crazy heading over towards A. They've given up the site, they're going for the plant, and Tikitakan, well, they have a decision to make. They are, of course, going to go for this retake. They've got plenty of money in the bank. It's a 16k overtime. But as Sensei finds Red Star, I don't think there's a chance of them doing this.
They're going to try. Obviously, no reason for them not to, as you mentioned, but it is unlikely that they pull it off. You're absolutely correct there. Ivan removed by CR4ZY, and Flames might not even throw the rifle away at this point. Looking for a late kill onto Sensei, who now has all the information he needs to call his team in and end the round as quickly as they can. DemQ finds it, ties it up at 17-17. Crazy and Tikitakan both with 2 needed in order to win out this map of Inferno. 2 rounds remaining in this half as well, and whichever side wins both of them, they will advance to the playoffs. Tikitakan, a desperately weak CT side throughout the vast majority of the opening stage of this map, but we never saw them with multiple snipers. It didn't work out in the first of overtime. Can it work out in the next 2?
As the nades rain over, they actually do very minimal damage. Wow, no, okay, take back what I said. That final one does a lot onto Crazy. DemQ down to 40, CR4ZY on 60. Things leveled up again now, though. One of these teams needs to pull away and win the next 2. Take this game. If they take 1 apiece, it goes to a second overtime. Tikitakan on their CT half. They had a pretty weak CT half in the first half of this match, but they've had plenty of time to warm up, adapt to Crazy's play style. And, of course, that lifeline adrenaline that they have right now. They know if they let this slip, they're out of this. They have to fight for it. It's all to play for right now. 55 seconds on the clock. It's Crazy yet to make a commitment. It's looking like they are going to head over towards A, though.
The AWP's rotated in, or at least one of them has, at just the right moment, but Ivan needs to be careful that he doesn't get caught off here. He's got 2 AKs right in front of him, and he has no idea. He's going to walk ahead through that smoke even. Oh, this could be the right call. He's found one, but can't get the second as the AWP recocks. There are 2 players left in the A side to find yet more kills and buy time for these rotations. Red Star's got the first and the second. Toxic onto him now as the pit player does fall as well, but these CT rotators have arrived to try and deny the plant. Secondary AWP to boot, and I think they've heard it ring off, so they won't be peeking that anytime soon. The Flames dealing no damage, but Flames, the player, he looks to do so. Head ripped off by Toxic, and Spinks with it all to do in the clutch.
He swapped out to the AK. He's against two low HP players. This is absolutely doable because they're dancing around the boxes. He has to hit the headshots. He's been tagged down low himself. He finds the first. It's a 1 versus 1 now. 40 versus 40, and it's Sphinx to come out on top. Despite the fact that he was a man down, Crazy, they had to continue to peak there. And, well, Tikitakan take it over the edge, secure the double overtime, and have an opportunity here to close it out, 19-17.
The nightmare to lose control of that one after they got the opening kill as well. They're both tagged up. The early round nade damage coming in handy for Tikitakan at the very end of what could be the penultimate round of overtime. Crazy with one more opportunity to bring us into second OT. Tikitakan, meanwhile, can they show us that that struggling CT side is all in the past, was all in regulation, and now that they have that lifeline adrenaline you mentioned, are they able to hit better shots and work more effectively on the CT side? Sphinx hasn't picked up a weapon yet, but I'm assuming there's going to be a rifle in his hands as Red Star has plenty of cash to drop over. I wonder if there's going to be a double AWP again or not. I'm looking at an M4A1S on the floor, but Sphinx, he's looking forward to a different gun.
Sphinx is currently sitting on 34 frags, which is miles away from anyone else on the server. Doing a huge amount of work right now, and if he can convert a couple of kills into this final round, that might just be what tides Tikitakan over. They've put 3 players over towards Banana early, bombarding it with utility, but despite the fact that both teams have thrown several nades, neither are really going to do any significant damage. Crazy do take that Banana control. Going to give them some leg room to work with. Still a 5 versus 5 though, minute 15 on the clock. That Molotov's going to force them back a little. Makes their toes a bit toasty. Sergiz actually takes a fair amount of damage from it. A minute left on the clock now. Crazy looking like they are going to opt to go over towards B.
Tikitakan. This is where they start to worry. This is where the pressure will mount. As it's going to be a straight up collapse into the B bomb site. They try and fake A, which drops Tikitakan deep into the site. They have sent a rotator in now, but it may just be too late. He's on the way, and the first kill goes the way of Flame. Sphinx has found the second as well. Nightmare for Crazy at the start as they bail out of B and head back over towards the A side of the map. DemQ has to win this engagement if Crazy still want to win the round, but with 20 seconds left, do they even have enough time to make it into this A site? They really are going to be struggling to commit to the plant, and DJ from Pit has so much work to do. DemQ finds his teammate, but if he can drop the bomb on Toxic, maybe he can hold on to it. Instead, Crazy bail out at the right time and leave Tikitakan in a 2-on-3 to close out the map.
They had to take out DJ instantly there, and they did exactly that. A 2 versus 3 now. Flames and Sphinx, the guys that found the kills at the start of the round to deny the B push. There's 2 low HP players on this site, but no HE for them to work with. The flash is good, and the AWP shot actually misses, but not going to miss the second. Sensei closes it out, and Crazy take us to double overtime. We sit at 18-18. These teams completely inseparable, and the overtime curse continues. I mean, this is a hell of a third map of a series, especially on Elimination Day.
All tied up at 18-18. Crazy remain on the T side, but that cash is stocked back up. Tikitakan. Double AWPs coming back out for them as they try once again to wrestle this half in their favor. 22 now, the magical scoreline that either side is hunting for to claim victory on this map and avoid elimination from 9-5 to really there from Tikitakan. I'm surprised that they didn't call it was an A hit sooner. I feel as though, obviously they can't have that information there, but as soon as they're engaging in gunfights over on A, I suppose it's because DJ's down in the pit. He can't see whether DemQ's pushing CT or not, so they can't pull the rotations in. Perhaps if that kill was found, this map would already be over. Instead, Crazy have a lifeline, and they have heavy damage dealt in this round as well. It was a last-minute change of plan that kept them alive. How are they going to try and convert survival to victory?
Oh, Sphinx finds that opening kill onto Crazy, despite the fact they've taken a lot of damage early on. Tim and Red Star sitting on 30. Just this early utility usage from Crazy to take this control actually gives DemQ a lot of room to work with. He comes out of Boiler, realizes there's no one in brackets, it's just been given a huge amount of map control. And Tikitakan, well, they're playing this really, really deep right now, and they need to win these Angels on the engagement if they want to try and take this one. 30 seconds on the clock, the smokes go over, and Crazy come in for the execute.
Man advantage for the CT side, but explosive firepower needed now for the T's on the way in. Aben up close with the AWP. And time really limited for Crazy. I struggle to see how they'll be able to convert this without every single kill going their way. DJ in the pit gets a second before going down. That leaves Sensei alone, and that might have just been the round one there. He's now in a 1-on-2, and Spinks has found a close range kill. First round at the CT side of overtime given to Tikitakan now. I think it might come down to the first side to win 2 CT rounds. May dictate who wins overtime.
Wow. Tikitakan. They had a pretty strong CT side. Actually, no. They didn't have a very strong CT side in the first half. Now they're looking like they're a little bit stronger on these CT rounds, especially now that it's overtime and they've got the weapons to work with. They've taken that initial round advantage. I think you may be right. The first team to string together a couple of these rounds on the CT side might be able to close this one out, because it seems that both teams seem to be a little bit stronger on that T side. You just need enough of a cushion behind you, especially in these overtime situations. Again, just utility being lobbed in a banana, neither team really contesting it. That nade might do a fair amount of damage. It does a little bit onto Flames. That's going to be all for this round so far.
Again, Crazy look to make their way onto the A site. This time without a man deficit. Red Star, that is a really unfortunate miss. I failed to see how that one didn't line up, but as is life. And now he needs to be careful as he's being aggressed into by Sergis. DemQ's found the follow-up kill in the round, and Crazy are hunting down 19 rather rapidly indeed. DJ drops into the pit and gives his angle away. Much cleaner into the A bomb site. This time is it from Crazy, as Flames will get one back, but it is secured by the T side by the looks of things. 19 all on the board now, as one side will have a one-round advantage heading into the second half. And if it's Tikitakan, they might just have the advantage with that CT win. Meanwhile, Crazy just desperate for it. If they fall against them, they'll have a lot of work to do on their weaker side.
We continue to trade back and forth. It cannot get any closer than this. The third map, the second overtime. These teams are both pulling out all the stops. They've taken their own map picks. They come into Inferno, which is a map that neither team are massively comfortable with, and they're both just giving it their all. I like this early setup from DJ. Instead of putting him in the mini pit, which is just being cleared out almost every time now, actually putting him on the boost, a more aggressive stance to try and contest this bracket's control. Might just be what ties Tikitakan over.
Opening shot, unfortunately missing, but DJ actually gets the second. Double reply from Crazy, but Flames keeps the man advantage in Tikitakan's favor, and they're being rushed into. The flash from Sensei. He's actually going to get that kill despite the lack of vision, and now this AWP from Red Star. They're trying to bait the shot into him so they can flank him out of apartment. So he pushes forward and gets the timing on the shot. That leaves Toxic on 23 and completely alone to dictate which side has a one-round advantage. And I was about to say they need to rotate these AWPs to be closer to each other. You don't want to be taking isolated one-on-one engagements in this scenario. Toxic is planting the bomb. That Molotov won't be able to deny him, but that AWP shot will. Round advantage at the death of the half. It goes to Tikitakan, and on the CT side, that could mean everything.
Was that straight through a smoke? That was a ridiculous shot from Red Star to close out that first half of overtime. And, well, they're the first team to do it. Tikitakan take the side to close this one out. Only one needed to take it to a third overtime, but I think neither team want to go there at this point. They both want to try and close this one out. It's been a long morning for both sides. They've been playing since, wow, I'm trying to think. They've been playing since about 11:30. This has been a very, very long series.
It certainly has. I doubt for T settle for the CT side of the map. Can Tikitakan use the motivation from winning that first half to carry it over into a victory in the second half of the second overtime? They're deploying utility towards A early on, and they nearly baited the third aggressively that they are comfortable committing 3 players over towards A, and Spinks finding the opening kill might just thin out these defenses. Tikitakan may want to hold off before executing, as there's only one defender in the other side.
Try and regain this apartment's control. This could be huge, or this could throw away the round, and all flames are tied for some reason. And it comes into a 4-on-4 as they fall back as well. The Molotov goes down. Tikitakan now have to head over towards long. Luckily, they've left themselves plenty of time to do so. They head back over towards B. This is actually the right call. Psycho's the only man to hold up the site. Dija in the back lines. They've found what was needed. They've got onto the B site. They'll be able to get the bomb down, and now it's a 3v3 retake for Crazy to pull off.
He wins it on Banana too. Dija, the opening engagement goes the way of Tikitakan. MQ on the M4 can't win a fight either, and Sensei with an AWP to try and deny Matt Point going against his team. He's standing in the flames and he's taking more damage from the bullets. Tikitakan on 21 now. 2 consecutive chances to win Inferno in double overtime, and Crazy on their weaker CT side have to stand tall twice in a row in order to claim victory here. There can be no mistakes from Crazy if they want to put us in overtime 3. What kind of a strat are they going to utilize? 3 towards B early on by the looks of things to try and deny a Tiki. Tikitakan rush to that side of the map, but the second mid presence indicates it may.
I've thrown some early utility over towards Banana. It's looking like Sensei wants to go for an AWP peek here as the flash comes over. He's actually able to connect it onto Spinks. 3 players there, but as they're just getting really aggressive into A right now. Timing doesn't quite work out for Dija, but he hears the sound cue. He knows there's someone there and catches out the player. Oh no, he can't catch out the player while flashed. He whiffs on it. Tikitakan. Oh. This is absolutely insane. This is where they surely close it out.
They use G's, and it's not until they're literally stood on the site that Crazy are able to start firing at them. And then the kills go the way of the T's, Sergiz and Sensei. Desperation. It was Crazy who forced us into overtime in the first place. And now they're at risk of elimination from NINEtoFIVE too. Both pushing from A. Short Flames has found the first. And it looks as though Sensei on the M4 will find 1 kill, but Flames takes him down with the double at the end. And